What's going on, good people? We're back, and you already know blessings a lesson. Say it quick, don't say it slick. If you can't say amen, say out, because the truth can sting a little bit. And that way we're going to know if it didn't hit you or if it didn't bit you. We back in the place to be. My boy Logic TV, what's going on with you?
What's going on with you, man?
Man, we need to chop up some more game, man.
Oh man, it's been hectic out here for the last
Woo!
couple of weeks, so we finna have to lay it on thick.
We already know they got the Vital coupon crisis going on, man.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
all over the news, over the
yeah.
internet.
And it got some truth to some things and then some rumors to some things, man. And it's crazy, but I would like to get your you say opinion or your point of view on it or something like that. How you feel about that, man?
I feel like it's like political football being played out here.
Mm.
I think it's more so has to do with rather than the food stamps. It's more of a situation where the Republicans and Democrats are banking on the midterm elections, so they playing ball with each other.
Mm.
They could have just passed that. Right now they're pretty much making the country go into a panic.
Right.
And
They work better with fear.
yeah, fear is the topping of the day, the serving full course meal of fear going
Full
into
course meal.
holiday season.
Oh no, yeah, you got yeah, right. It
So
makes sense.
they already had said that they was going to do something as far as like cutting back on food stamps, Medicare, and all that,
Mm.
in 2026. But surprise, they,
2025, we ain't
yeah,
even
they
got
gave you an early
2026 yet.
birthday
An early
present.
gift.
So, I mean, me myself, I just, I don't know why the public is not reacting in its proper context.
So how you feel like they should be reacting?
If the government is in a position to where they're holding back funds and funding from Social Security to Medicaid to Medicare to
Yeah,
insurance to food stamps to whatever the federal workers, whatever. Then the public has a duty to hold on to their money.
right.
You got to fight fire with fire. If your pocket's getting tampered with by the government, the only solution is to you know say ditto. Say okay, you
Right,
you ain't gonna give me no money, then I ain't spending no money.
right, right.
And somebody they gonna break before us because they got bills to pay. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? We got bills to pay, but those billionaires, their bills are a little bit different than ours. So they can't wait too long because once the market start being affected by us sitting on our money,
Mm.
then they start losing millions and billions themselves. So
Right,
we might get something repossessed or
right,
something like that, but it's not really on the level of what they're going to lose out. And I believe it's supposed to be a collective effort across the board,
right. I
with
ain't gonna.
all nationalities, not just, because they try to make the food stamps thing seem like it's just black people.
Right. It's all the rest national.
Yeah, everybody get it.
And I was listening to this one dude. I ain't gonna say no names though, but he was like, "Oh, we ain't gonna boycott or cancel nothing. We gonna have a good no Thanksgiving and a good Christmas." But you know what I'm saying? You got to fight back some kind of way. You know what I'm saying? And I understand. You want to enjoy yourself, or you can still get up with family and stuff like that. But people ain't got to go in debt, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All the things that they do for these holidays like that. You know what I'm saying? Because they messing it up for people, and you got to fight back some kind of way. So like you saying, keep your money from spending with them. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? They might understand a little better. But if you just keep on keeping on, they ain't gonna give a damn about how
Right.
you feel about it.
I mean, you really don't have it to spend. I mean, if they ain't giving out, then what are you getting?
Right.
And then I mean, when it comes to, social media and different stuff like that, different podcasts and whatnot, just people out here that's not really privy to how this work, or they're really kissing ass on the cool, they don't have a real take on, from grassroots up.
Yeah.
Everybody want to be Big Willie, but at the end of the day, these holidays are designed in corporate America to get these corporations out of debt.
Right. They keep them out of that.
You see what I'm saying? So the Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas and New Year's are basically times for these corporations to go from red to black.
Get back in the black.
Yeah, get
We
back in the
talked
black.
about that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, I
Yeah.
mean, at the end of the day,
That's why they
they're
call it
depending
Black
on us to
Friday.
still spend money because they,
Yeah.
even though they taking what they're taking, they're going to still have the thought process that you're going to go out here and be compulsive with your money. And that's where right now, the same way everybody's shocked about not getting food stamps, you can shock corporate by not spending no money. So, I
Mm.
mean, at the end of the day, these holidays are not that important. You can
And
miss
then
one.
they got it shook up with the people. Like some people don't get food stamps, and they feel like they pay taxes to people that just get free money.
See, and that's the whole thing, if indeed, because the government tell us so many lies,
Mm.
if indeed tax money, our, the working class is paying for food stamps, because that's what you always hear,
After taxes
yeah, them complain about.
and Section 8.
The Section 8 and all this money is coming out of my work
Right.
check, and these people are lazy and this, that, and other. Now, if the money is really coming out of
Right.
people's work checks, then why ain't they being reimbursed now that no money is being
Yeah.
dispersed? You know what I mean? The
So
public need to ask that question. If
yeah,
our
they need some
money is,
different questions.
yeah, it's not, it's like nobody is questioning these politicians while these politicians just
They,
running a circus up there.
hey Reem, they not they not questioning why they accounts receivables is still open, but the account payables
Right.
ain't working, and they in the same building.
Come on now, you know what I'm saying? Like, your Social Security and
Yeah,
FICA and all that still being taken out of your work check, but
right,
the government shut down though.
right. So and if that's the case, we paying uh taxes and they getting it for the food stamps, and they ain't giving out food stamps. The taxes should be lower. So
Yeah, you should see some kind of difference on your,
something.
your work check. All that, everything that they cutting is, should affect what percentage they're taking out of your work check.
Right.
And if your work check ain't fluctuating, then they
Mm,
going on as business as usual.
right.
Meanwhile, you getting stipped on the back end,
So
the front end and the back
where the
end,
money going?
in somebody's pockets,
Somebody.
somebody's offshore accounts.
Yeah.
Right now it's just a
Damn.
one big, yeah, it's a big smoke screen, man. I know that people need the assistance because uh wages haven't changed in the last 25, 30 years.
Right.
Minimum wages bottomed out. Meanwhile, everything's more expensive and this, that, and other.
Mm,
So, I mean, at the end of the day, the public has to see the shell game that's being played. But as long as you gonna depend on the representatives to say something, you know,
mm,
about it, yet they haven't did it in 25 years. I mean, what are you
mm,
waiting on? I mean, that should be the number one topic in America is wages,
yeah.
because it shouldn't take two people working under one household just to be in poverty.
Yeah. I feel like they doing with the Democrats and Republicans. They doing good cop, bad cop,
That's exactly what's going on. Because, like, right now, everybody's blaming Trump for
everything.
what's going on,
Right.
when actually it's the Democrats holding out certain votes
You know,
because
you
they
finna
want
ruffle some
certain,
feathers with that one.
yeah, they want certain taxes to be added in that bill that they refusing to pass to open up the, you know what I'm saying? And the stuff that the Democrats want ain't necessarily what we need as American citizens
Mm,
right now. You know what I'm saying? It's not
right.
really that serious. It's more on the illegals and different stuff like that, and they're
Hmm.
trying to put that within the 2026 budget. And the Republicans is like, nah, we're not, we're not doing all these ICE raids for nothing.
And every time, like if the Republicans do something, the Democrats will say that's not true. Y'all making it up. Where's the proof? And then when the Democrats do something, they'll say the same thing to the Republicans. 'Cause I mean, we was having that talk earlier
Right.
about them not getting the immigrants not getting the food stamps or
Right.
the medical, and you saying they is,
Right.
but he's saying they ain't, and he
Right.
said that's some propaganda that you believe in, but it ain't
Right.
propaganda what he believe in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And me myself, I'm not Democrat or Republican.
Right.
I'm not a political person when it comes to, at the end of the day, I know it's a shell game.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's a kind game, and you got to get in where you fit in with this system. But at the end of the day,
Right.
when you can sit up and just watch, I mean, if you from the streets, you know when somebody bullshitting or not.
True.
Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, if you didn't have to deal with money, if you didn't had any little small businesses or whatever, you didn't had any slick talkers, fast talkers around you,
Right.
you can tell who's being sincere and who's really just, trying to talk so fast that you can't keep up and you just agree to whatever. Now, we done witnessed these immigrants come across the border in the last 4 years. We witnessed these people come in, get businesses, get loans, get jobs, get welfare, get medical, get training.
Mhm.
We've witnessed this. This ain't, you can't tell me that this is a Republican talking point. You know what I'm saying? When we don't witness this in our communities.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And with that being said, the American citizens is still struggling. It is nowhere in the world that somebody that came across the border that don't have a social security card or a birth certificate can end up in a house, faster than somebody that have been on their job for 10, 20 years, a two-family house, a man and a woman, they married, got a couple kids or whatever, and they still trying to figure out how can they buy a house or can't afford a house, and then you got people coming straight across the border getting houses. Is nothing propaganda about that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, like I said, rather than being caught up in what party and what side of the aisle that you're on, this is, this food stamp stuff, it has nothing to do with the American people. It has everything to do with these political people trying to position themselves for next year's election. You
Election.
know what I'm saying? That's what
Yeah.
they do.
So what you think about like when all the people getting on here talking about they gonna on the social media is talking about they gonna start running out the stores and
Well,
take things, and like, is that, you think that's the proper way it's supposed to be handled, or what is they gonna do more harm than helping, or what's with that?
Well, if they, these same people that's acting like, they're gonna be starving November 1st and want to do something irrational like that,
Right.
obviously ain't been paying attention to the chess moves that's been being played politically with the National Guard going
Where
up
they
in
been
these, you know what
setting
I'm
them up,
saying?
where
They lining
they
you up.
they thought this was about ISIS, but they've been setting it up for the bigger play,
Yeah,
because they already know they really trying to get us out of character,
right.
because they see we laying back and ain't getting involved in all the drama and madness they got going on, so they gotta figure out a way to get our feathers ruffled, and get us in the game.
And that's definitely what I see the play is.
Right. That's
I
me. That's
mean,
my thinking too.
you figure if civil unrest happens
Right.
and running up in these stores and rioting and doing all looting, whatever the case may be, that's civil unrest.
Right.
So that clears the way for the government to, issue martial law.
Do
And,
them.
and once martial law is issued, then the president can stay the president until he undeclared martial law.
Mm.
So when you hear that Trump might run a third term or might have a third term, that's what they're really saying, but you're not reading between the lines.
But what I'm getting from that, when I'm catching what you throwing is,
Right.
this is what I'm catching what you throwing. So like a lot of people don't like Trump.
Right.
They're against him. But if he set this play up like that, and then they go out and tear up stuff and run out, and he had to call martial law, and he get to stay in power until he calls it off. They really the people that vote for Democrat really helping them.
Right.
So if you go out there and loot and steal, and he got to declare martial law, and y'all want him out of office, that right there is helping keeping him in office if you really got a problem with him. So you need to think
Right.
about your actions on that type of
Right.
thing.
All you doing is solidifying what they had the No Kings parade and No
Yeah.
Kings. I don't know what they call it, riot, or I don't know what they call
Yeah,
it.
they had the gatherings and stuff.
But that if you don't want a king, then you need to be convincing people not to go out here and
And
try to run out with
yeah,
it. You know,
because that's gonna keep them where y'all don't want them.
yeah, that is definitely gonna give him the right argument that things are out of control.
And y'all
We
need
need to
me
bring
here.
in federal reinforcement. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a play that's being ran, but like you said,
Right.
the Democrats is right there assisting them.
Yeah, they throwing the alley oops.
Rather than the Democrats saying, you know what, we ain't gonna get what we want on this budget, so we're gonna go ahead and sign these and open up the government again so everybody can get back, instead of them saying that, no, they want this money immediately because
Right.
of their agenda.
Yep. And then, but see, and if they was so much for the people like they say they are, and they know that the people finna get out here and act a fool and keep this man in office or wherever he want to be longer, why would they provoke that? Like, why would you be like, you know what, we don't want that. We have to fight this fight another way or something, come at it a different
Exactly.
way. But now they gonna force the people hand in the bellies. You know, when bellies start growling,
Right.
what happened? You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get out of character.
That's what they're assisting with. Hunger.
Right.
That's the only thing they're assisting with. The situation of where they got, when they had the office, the chair, the presidency, this, that, and other, they wasn't worried about nothing but their own agenda.
Right.
And now that they're not in office, I mean, they're not the majority and controlling everything. They're still just worried about their agenda. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? They're not looking at the reason why the Democrats didn't beat the Republicans in 2024. They running the same old playbook, and the public is tired of it.
Definitely.
You
But-
got to have some kind of, I don't know why nobody is speaking on the wage. The
Right.
minimum wage thing. That's major, man.
Right. That's why you need food stamps, because you can't make enough money to survive. So you need assistance like that.
And that's why I feel like the food stamp thing is kind of a smokescreen on what really the issue
It's
is.
another bigger play.
Right,
that we
because
ain't
the cost of living, if minimum wage is $7-8,
Right.
okay, and it haven't moved, okay, back when it turned $7-8, gas was what, about $1, $1.20, $1.10. It was around the dollar mark. Now we're looking at $2, $3, $4, $5 at the tank,
Yeah.
and we looking at the same wages, and that's just gas. We're not even talking about food and how that don't went up, utilities, how that don't went up, real estate,
Everything.
Yeah, back when
Vehicles.
a 1-bedroom apartment down here in Tulsa, you could get a 1-bedroom for like $425, 1-bedroom back then, when minimum wage got put to that amount. Now a 1-bedroom is running you almost a band. You know what I'm saying? You finna pay $1,000 for a 1-bedroom, and ain't nothing different than with this place from when you was paying for something.
That ain't even with the lights, gas, and
Come on now.
water.
I mean, that it could be all bills paid. I wouldn't care, but at
still,
the end of the day, how you're not getting no more space for that same amount.
Ain't no
If
gro-
you
hey look, it
had,
definitely ain't no grocery.
500, what they say,
Eh,
500 square feet.
Yeah. It definitely ain't no groceries in that thing out of the thousand.
Right. I mean, if you're making that much, you're not going to even qualify for food stamps.
Man,
So,
that's a cold thing. So if a young lady got car payment, rent, then she got kids and everything, they don't even want to give them no stamps, nigga.
right.
Eh,
And
Wow.
the whole thing is that they've designed it to where it's almost impossible to live by yourself unless, you know, you pulling down, 5 6 figures,
Right.
you know. And with that being said, the average person out here is single.
Mm,
Relationships is not lasting, so people are having to try to figure out how to do it on their own, and the math ain't math.
definitely not, man.
You know what I'm saying? So
Hey, you gonna need two jobs out here, especially if you by yourself. You
yeah,
gonna then and then you if you got kids and everything, that's damn sure by yourself two jobs
come
too.
on now.
And now it's most likely if it's two people in the house, they damn near got two jobs apiece. They ain't even at home.
You you
And then the
you living
kids,
beyond your means too.
right, and the kids, y'all, don't with the keeping up with the Joneses, they got that bad right now. They gonna want everything.
Yeah, you know that right there, in itself, just upkeep on yourself. The way that everybody acts these days. A person with a regular job can't even pay for that.
Right,
So I mean, it's a lot of things that the government is doing because they know how everybody is living out here, and they squeezing everybody. They squeezing everybody. They squeezing.
right.
So the question I want to know is how much is it going to take before people come together
Mm,
to use their finances to fight back with the government? You see what I'm saying?
right,
Maybe if some of the corporations paid higher wages, then more people would spend with that company right there, and show their appreciation that that company right there, actually pays his workers, and or whatnot or something. But as far as people being stressed because the holidays is coming up and they're not going to be able to celebrate the holiday, me personally, I say the hell with the holidays. Ain't nothing to celebrate when everybody's pockets is hurting.
right, right.
You see what I'm saying? Me myself, I don't celebrate them no way. But I mean, as
Well, I
far
mean,
as
after a while, you got to know that's a hustle.
yeah, it's a hustle, and most people don't realize it's a hustle. They just think it's
Mm,
the holiday season, and it's not that.
yeah,
It's corporate is getting back from in debt to profits
right.
in October, November, and December. So, and most people look at it like, we don't have a problem. Our main problem is that the government won't do that. But it's not the government. It's that you're not making the government do, because the only thing they understand is money.
That's it.
If you keep spending, they like, well, if you
Yeah.
was broke, you wouldn't have this to spend.
Hey, they know you'll go in debt. They already know you gonna spend some shit you ain't got. We got my fam bam in the house. Randy Holmes, I call her dog. Our family call her dog, but she here to put her input on what's going on, and she just got here, but we still on it. So we talking about the Vital coupon crisis, and we done spoke on it a little bit. So now we need to hear how you feel about it and what you got to say.
Um, this ain't nothing new to us. It's not nothing new to us. So it's gonna be a lot of people doing stuff they shouldn't. But at the same time, I feel like it's gonna make us as a people come together and take care of each other more.
Right.
Like this is a time for us to show who we really are right now
Mm.
by coming together and helping each other.
Looking out for each other.
Mhm.
So you think about next year the Mine's be right to start making them with neighborhood gardens and things that like that, so we can help each other survive. Because next time they try to pull this or something,
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people started that during COVID because I started my garden during COVID, my first garden during COVID. Like, and it's actually organizations out there that will help you start, give you the seeds, give you everything to get started
mm,
so that you can provide your own. And like it's a lot of organizations right now. Like people didn't even know that if you grow a garden in North Tulsa, you can actually sell your stuff at the farmers market because you live in a food desert. So we don't have to go through all the other hoops that everybody else does. We can just sell our stuff at the farmers market. But right now, the farmers market is helping people who are not getting their food stamps.
mm,
So somebody donated some money to them. So they're gonna give out $20 in vegetables, and they were looking for somebody to match what they had so they can double that.
right,
So, I mean, it's places and people who are stepping up,
mm,
which they should, because a lot of these people get our money anyway.
right,
So, I think DoorDash is stepping up. They helping some people out. So,
Yeah, I
it's
seen
just,
that. Go Puff.
yeah, so it's just us. We got to start helping each other, and we got to make it happen. But we got to hold this government accountable.
Thank
We got to hold this government accountable. Like, we, the people, got to
right.
make them accountable because there's no way in the world they not working and they getting paid.
I noticed something about what you said, government. You didn't say Democrats or Republicans. You
Government,
mean the
the
whole kit
whole,
and caboodle. A
the
lot of people
whole
trying to
thing,
separate it,
you.
but I'm with you. I'm thinking all of them in on
all
it.
of them,
Yeah.
because everybody for themselves. They not for the people. Because
Right.
guess what? They still getting their checks.
Yep.
They getting astronomical amounts to work,
Mm,
which they not doing.
Right.
And then they still, when they retire, guess what? They still getting paid that same amount of money.
Right.
mm,
They still getting all this money. So they go on vacations, they still getting paid.
Right.
They taking these private planes and all this stuff. Guess who paying for it? We paying for it.
right.
But you and I, if we work, we can't take off and still get paid. Come on, you better have some PTO, and if you ain't
It's
got
a
no
paid
PTO, you on
vacation,
you on
yeah.
your own.
You gotta work. You gotta put in so many hours to get some vacation.
Exactly. So
Like
why
you
is it
work all year and get
a
2
week?
a week or
1
something.
week.
Yeah,
You
that
gotta be
ain't
on that. You gotta be on that job like 10 years to get 2-3 weeks. Come
right.
on, like that's not right. And they get to do this?
Mm,
No. So they supposed to be working for us.
mm,
So I feel like if they working for us, they should get what we get paid. Then
Right.
they'll raise our salaries.
mm.
Then they'll make it where we can make a living wage. If you gotta live off of what I gotta live off of, I guarantee you some changes gonna be
Some
made.
changes to be
Come on.
made.
We as a community, as a
Mm,
people, as a body, whether
right,
we like each other or not, we all in the same boat.
right.
So we gotta come together and say, listen, this is what y'all gonna do. And if y'all don't do it, then we want y'all out of here.
Right.
Mm,
And put people in there that's really for the people. We don't gotta like each other,
Right.
but we do need to all come together and respect each other and make sure that we all taken care of. Because at the end of the day, if I'm not taken care of, you not taken care of. Because guess what? I'm gonna feed my family by any means necessary.
Right.
right.
So you might think you've taken care of, but guess what? If you got what I need, it's on you.
But they got it set up like that. They want
They
that
do.
to happen.
They do. They want that to happen, but guess what? We all in the same boat. Because you know how many people are losing their jobs right now? Government workers
Mm,
losing their jobs. Right now, it's people who have to work and not getting paid.
Mm-hmm.
wow.
Imagine that you have to work, do the same job you've been doing,
Mm.
but you don't get paid for it.
No, I ain't finna do that.
But then guess what? If you do, all these years you done put in on this job,
It's over with.
it's
You
down the
lost
drain.
it.
Hey, you know,
So there your retirement, there all this things that you didn't work for all this time, it's down the drain. So then what you gonna do? You gonna stick it out.
Right.
Because guess what? What's
I
better?
wouldn't, but I know that's
A lot of
you
people
know the
don't do
regular
it.
But
thinking.
think about it, it's not the average job. So they still getting paid more than the average person.
Right. Right.
So at the end of the day, I'm thinking I might be able
Yeah.
to retire.
They on the hamster wheel. They ain't gonna get off. Cause
See,
they,
but you remember when COVID happened and they was forcing people to get the
Shot.
jab.
Yeah,
You
the jab,
did.
Judy.
So it's like the people that lost their job end up doubling back around and suing them and getting paid for that
Hmm.
back pay. So I figured that that would be sort of like this situation that,
It
you
probably
know,
would, but I don't know with the orange man in government. What we gonna
Mm-mm.
do?
see, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
What we
even
gonna do? He making all the rules, which is crazy because he's not supposed to be able to make the rules.
right,
That's why we have a whole body.
That's why we have a government.
right.
But why is he calling all the shots? Like it's crazy to me.
I don't even think it's him that's calling the shots, to be honest.
I mean, he's probably a puppet, but still,
Yeah,
somebody calling the shots is not us,
right.
and we the body, we the
I,
people.
the problem is the government has been hijacked by corporations and greed and that 1% or whatever. So I like I was just telling Neil, I like look, we as a population, if they're gonna mess with our money, we gotta mess with their money.
Exactly.
Because the only other option is bloodshed for bloodshed, and nobody's trying to see that. So
Yeah.
I mean, if they're gonna fight, by cutting programs and you know, and call themselves trimming the fat to where they can take that extra meat that they taking off the bone and put in their accounts, then we need to hold back because we're feeding them.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So like this holiday season, should nobody be upset that they can't, celebrate normally like they normally do. You see what the government is on, you get on the same. If they being stingy, you be stingy.
Mm.
What they say, match my energy. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Match their energy. Okay, well, these billions that you normally make between October, November, December, nobody getting out of the
You ain't
black.
gonna be
All
banking.
these corporations stay in the red and
Mm.
start their year off in the red like everybody else.
Mm.
This the only that's the only thing that they understand. That
Yeah.
Right.
they only understand bottom line.
Yeah.
They don't care about people, well-being, your health,
Yeah.
my health, education. They don't care about nothing. The only thing they care about is their bottom line. If their bottom line get affected, then maybe they'll start listening.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of things have changed if we just kept our money.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of things. But
The more frugal we are, the more hospitable the government becomes. If you notice,
Yeah.
we didn't
you see what
spend
I'm
our
saying?
stores in the. Well, and I notice we talk about that all the time. Every time we go out and make some runs and we come back in town, we got to go to that store and everybody we complain every time. We just quit spending our money
Mhm.
up in here. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't treat us like that. Or
But
look
it's easier said than done.
That's right.
It's easier said than done, especially like you
And we
got
don't make
families, you
gas.
got kids, you
See,
got.
but you have to be able to break the routine.
I
I
mean,
mean,
you definitely
I
do.
feel like right now, what's the difference between you breaking the routine or allowing the government to make you break the routine?
Mm.
Like they're not gonna give you this, so you don't have it to spend, so you can't spend it. Well,
Mhm.
if they can force you not to spend, then you can force yourself not to spend, even though you have it. But it has to be a collective effort,
Mhm.
for the government to feel it that way.
Right.
But really, I don't feel like the government gonna feel it still. Like the people we want to target
Right,
is not gonna feel it.
right. But they're corporations.
They corporations will, but they still getting paychecks from us.
I know, but I'm saying like,
The ones they getting pushback, kickbacks from, yeah, they gonna feel it. But guess what? They gonna find a way to give it back to them. Whether it's in a tax break, they gonna find a way to give
see,
them
but
whatever
that's
they
what
lose.
collectively, that's where the chess game begins. Because the same way that if you don't spend no money, people can just not go to work. People can really put the emergency brake on
I mean, and that's
society.
really what we all need to
Yeah,
do.
if everybody just
Just
sit down,
non-essential stuff, like we just need to be
right,
like everybody, but everybody not gonna do that because people, at the end of the day, you still got a family to worry about.
right,
Right.
You still got people you gotta feed. You still this may be a single mother. She can't afford to lose a job. She loses a job, then what?
right,
Like it's easy for us to say that. Like for me, I do Lyft,
right,
so I work when I want to work.
right,
I do DoorDash. I do whatever I gotta do to make money. But at the same time, I choose when I do it.
right,
So I'm not really working for anybody.
right,
So I can say I'm not gonna work today.
right,
But the average person can't do that because they gotta feed their kids regardless. They gotta go to work. They gotta suck it up and keep it pushing.
See, but that's the whole thing. It's not a situation to where collect if everybody did it on a collective level, where if it's 350 million people in America, if 300 million people
Stop
you
working.
just stop,
Yeah, it's gonna be a problem.
whatever people
But
that
are we
get it,
gonna come together like that? That's the big thing. It's not gonna be enough of
I
us to come
believe that
together
we
and do
can,
that. We
because
can,
the
but
working
will they?
class, you already got how many millions of that's homeless, so they're already not working.
Right.
Okay, so the poor and the lower middle class, if they just that's we're talking about another 45% of the population. You're not losing anything if you're only getting fired from a job that's basically low income.
I mean, you are if you just barely hanging on. So for
I-
me, I worked 3 jobs
if
at one point in time to make ends meet.
do you really
So
do you
if I
really
would have lost one of them jobs, that might mean not having no lights or no car, or you know what I'm saying.
but
For
what
some
I'm
people,
saying, do
that
you
that
really
that
believe
really
that
tips the scale.
those companies would close?
No, I don't think the companies would close,
No,
but
I'm
they'll
saying,
find somebody to come in and fill your spot.
but who's gonna fill those spots?
Oh, they'll find somebody. It's
That's
going.
why I said on a collective
That's
level,
why.
it's nobody to come fill that spot.
Well, that's why they let the immigrants in and stuff.
See, but
Oh
that's
well,
what,
they trying to get
Yeah.
rid of them now, but still,
Well,
we
right.
in here we
the
ain't having
orange
that
man
issue.
you say is the problem trying to get rid of. Democrats ain't trying to get rid of.
Ain't nobody trying to get rid of them because really they do the jobs most people don't want. I mean, black people ain't slaves no more. We not going in them cotton fields. We not standing out there in that heat. We not doing that. Now
See, but
we'll
they're not
work 2 or
paying.
3 jobs as inside, but we not going out there picking old cotton. We're not doing all that. We're not doing that. So the immigrants will do that. They'll work them farms in the heat. They'll do all that.
Yeah,
We not
that
doing that.
it's because they're white. See, it's an angle that the immigrants, when they get paid, they send the money back
Mhm.
overseas. Black people don't work those jobs where those jobs ain't paying. What it would cost to get me out in that field, you can have 3 immigrants, and this is the supply and demand type of situation
You see
that's
what
keeping
it-
us from out there. Our people will go right back. We're the most agrarian people on the planet. Can't nobody farm like black folk.
Oh, I'm sure we. The problem is not that we can't do it. We're
Right.
not going to do
I'm
it.
saying we're not doing it because it's not now.
Right, it's not profitable for us.
Exactly. If it was a living wage, we're going back to that whole. See, because corporate only cares about their bottom line,
Mhm.
they don't want to pay nobody.
Mm.
And if they are going to pay somebody, they rather have 3 heads for one.
But we can't even keep blaming the corporations for everything, because we as a people, like, we got huge families. Some of us have huge families. We can't work together to save 2 pennies, much less build a company. Because I've been saying for years, everybody, if we do this for a year, everybody put $100 in the pot. And if it's none of us, every month, new person get the pot. But whoever got the pot still got to put $100 in next month.
Right.
Imagine how much more the family could have if we work together. But everybody gonna do what? Soon as they get the pot, what they gonna do?
Right.
They gonna stop putting in.
See, but
Or they gonna say, well, why they get this, and this, and why did they do this, and this? We gotta start working together and stop being jealous of each other. Stop worrying about what the other one got or don't got, and worry about taking care of our families, ourselves. That's how it used to be. The government couldn't do nothing to us back then. You know why? Because we worked together. Think of how much worse after slavery ended. How much worse black people had it. Because they wasn't getting nothing. They didn't have masters to give them the food. They couldn't get the food that they was cropping before, right?
They ain't got the land.
Because they didn't have the land. But guess what? They came together and nobody starved. Everybody worked together. Even if it was 10 people, 20 people living in one spot, 1 bedroom house, they did it.
Right.
Why we can't do it now? Why we can't all come together and say, and this is what Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, all of them do.
They didn't brainwash us to divide and conquer, though.
Yeah.
They want us divided. So they don't want the man and woman in the house. The families damn sure not staying together.
But
So,
at some point, we got to be accountable ourselves. We
Yeah.
can't keep blaming them because guess what? They can only do what we let them do.
Right.
Like, at some point, we have to be so knowledgeable. Like, I tell my kids every day, somebody picking on you for no reason out of the blue, they just keep picking, picking, picking. It's not because there's something wrong with you. It's because there's something wrong with them. They see something in you, on you, or within you that they want, and they can't get it. So they gonna try their best to break you. And guess what we do? We let them break us. Why? Because we feel like they the prize. They not the prize. If somebody is on you like that, that tell you right there, you the prize. Imagine if we as African Americans, blacks, whatever we want to be called, look at our history. They have been on us. They have been on our backs, like from the beginning of time.
Yeah.
What does that tell you? We are so much
Pressure
more
make us special.
powerful. We are so much more powerful than we know.
Right.
Right.
They hate us so much, but every single thing we do, whether it's good, bad, ugly,
You
what
know,
do they do?
Copy it.
They say, oh, look at them going outside in their pajamas. Now what white girls doing?
Sad in the pajamas.
Look at them in them slides and them flip flops. Now what they do? Everything we do, whether it's good, bad, ugly, gold in the mouth. We started it. What they doing? Anything we do, they gonna do. So guess what? We just gotta start being smarter and start making them pay for what they taking from us.
Right.
But guess what we do? We'll go and sell our businesses to them. We making good money. We'll go sell it to them, and then they'll raise the price, make it not nowhere near as good as it was before.
Mm.
And now they making a profit off of our name because people still thinking it's us. But instead of us saying, hey, let me go find, if I want to get rid of my business, let me go find somebody black to take over my business. Let me
Right.
go find maybe a couple of black people to go in so they can, so we can just
Keep it on us.
keep the wealth in our culture. Because that's what they do. How many big corporations, big businesses, or big products that came out that was made and thought of by them have they sold to a black person?
They ain't gonna do that.
Exactly. Why not? Because they using something we not. They using their intelligence, even though we're smarter than them.
See, but we was talking about that earlier. And, me myself, I be dissecting. I be all the time about just like this illness that black people tend to have, black Americans, because just this whole situation with we have a certain percentage of our population that does have issues when it comes to them not loving themselves. They want to be around other nationalities and other races, especially white races. So we got a COON problem, and we have gatekeepers that's within that keeps the situation to where the people that's average has a ceiling. These people that goes to these colleges and join these sororities and fraternities, not all of them, but a lot of them are the reason why you don't see progress in our communities. I don't care, we hear about the statistics about, the black woman is most educated, that that's supposed to be reflective in the community. Why are these people getting PhDs, master's degrees, whatever degrees, and none of these people are coming back to the community? It turns into a bourgeoisie type situation to where they think they're better than the ones that's in the hood. The hood people know how to do things from grassroots, and the bourgeoisie has the connections at the top, which you would think would be an easy sandwich to put together, but it's not, because instead of cooperation, we got competition.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Our problem is we want to look down on something. You see what I'm saying? Because how hard we've had it.
But it's been ingrained in us.
Well, I just believe it's a few of us that keeps it seeming like it's ingrained in us. Because if people can come together for nonsense,
For a trail ride.
for a trail ride, for boots on the ground for gangs. I don't care. I don't care
Yeah.
what. When I see a group of, sports, it doesn't matter. Whatever it is, when I see a group of us together on the same frequency, so to speak, then why doesn't that translate to economics? Why doesn't it translate to big business? Why doesn't it translate to we got black doctors, but why our doctors want to have a practice out there with the white folks? We got black lawyers. Why our lawyers want to be under the white firms? You know what I'm saying? All this selling yourself short so that you can get a good pat on massa's head rather than having the full scale profit to yourself because you're dealing with your people and you're the owner of the firm. You're the owner of these things that you went to school for, because it's our black ideas and creativity that's keeping these other corporations afloat.
Right.
It's our genius within their corporations that's making it seem like their corporations is all that. But when you really, if you go right beyond the executives and see the people that's really doing the creativity and putting it all together, it always be us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Or it's the ideas that they take from us and they just put it in, somebody else's hand and, like you said, make a profit off of our ideas.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't need to even be playing ball that way. Our bourgeoisie, our gatekeepers, our doctors, lawyers, our college graduates need to step off of their high horse and come down here and deal with some of this stuff that's going on in their families. Because just because you have money doesn't cut you off from your lineage.
But it really does, because that's how we raised. That's how we talk.
I know in theory, but that's not real. See, me myself, I know that it's a awakening running around, and it's gonna be some straightening that's gonna have to happen, and everybody is not gonna make it out of this storm that we finna go through.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we're gonna be forced to come with these things that we complain about within our families.
Mhm.
We're gonna
Address them.
yeah, we're gonna have to address them. Because me myself, I believe more so, like when you look at the news, our worst is amplified, but and you saying worse because the children are gang banging, they're selling drugs, they're dropping out of school, they're not doing the things that young responsible people are supposed to be doing, and nobody chastises the person that's sitting in political office, done went to college, got a PhD, been sitting as a lawyer, and now they said as a judge, now they're in politics, but they're not advocating for nothing for the black community. I think that's more detrimental than somebody pulling triggers out here. And that's just me understanding how much a law can affect all of us rather than somebody that went to the club and got shot.
And it definitely can. And if you think about it, again, all those things you're talking about are things that we learn from where?
Right.
I just saw a young poet on Facebook who was saying, okay, we repping Bloods and Crips. Y'all repping Republicans and Democrats.
Right.
Right?
Right.
How did the drugs get into our communities?
Right.
The government.
Right.
So it ain't nothing negative that we've done
Right.
on our own. Where did we get all the negativity from?
Right.
They already know pressure make us fresher.
It do.
It ain't gonna play.
But the thing about it is, we gotta start moving together. We gotta move it, just like they say in the band. One body, one sound. Like, we supposed to move like that, but we don't. Because even in all of our families, it's a divide. You got this one choosing this side, this one choosing this side. Everybody did the same thing. Nobody better than the next.
Right.
You got a little money, you live here. Okay.
Right.
I still live out north.
Right.
Okay, and guess what? I could have had the same thing that everybody else had
Right.
if I would have kept all my stuff to myself, but I shared it.
Right.
Right.
And that's what people don't realize. Certain people are in positions they in because they weren't selfish.
Right.
Not because they didn't work that hard,
Right.
because they weren't selfish.
Exactly.
But when we look at each other, all we see is material things. What kind of car you drive? Where your house at? What your house look like? Where your kids go to school? What kind of clothes they wearing? And I'm telling you from my own experience, my own family has done this to me.
Right.
But guess what? Ain't nobody talked about how I was making good money taking care of everybody's kids. People living in my house.
Right.
I'm taking care of them. Then when they got on their feet, I didn't say, "Oh, you owe me," because it ain't like that. I'm proud of you. Okay, I do whatever I can to help you. I need to babysit your kid. I need to do what I'll do it
Right.
because I want you to be better than me. I don't want you to be where I'm at. I don't ever want nobody to be where I'm at. I want you to be better than me.
Right.
But that don't mean, oh, now you done got your little degree. You now you got your little house that's better than mine.
But
Now you better than me. For real, you can't talk to me. We not friends no more. We not even family no more.
Just that bourgeoisie.
But that's what I'm saying. It's better because they got nicer clothes, better car. But is that the better you talking about? Or are you talking about
No,
better?
from society, they look
Right.
better.
Right.
From society, they look better, but inward they don't, because you got to remember where you come from. You got to remember who was down for you
Right.
when you couldn't even be down for you.
See, but that can't be taught at school. This
It
is
can't.
the reason why I'm saying these awards, rewards, whatever you want to call it, to where it makes people feel bigger than the next person. Our community has to stop glorifying and celebrating people because, like you being starstruck because somebody got a little bit of more popularity or whatever the case may be. We're all in the same boat. We've
Mhm.
always known this. You see what I'm saying? And going back to the cooperation versus competition,
Mm-hmm.
if because you have more does not take you, that like I was saying a minute ago, it does not take you out of your lineage.
Mhm.
Your lineage is your lineage. They say it's lonely at the top because how many people you stepped on to get there.
Mm-hmm. Because you forget the people that helped you get there.
Exactly. And normally those be the closest people around you who you had to snake in
Mm-hmm.
order to get to the top.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Oh,
Some
most
people fall
definitely.
off because it's not their role. Other people fall off because as you tend to get more and more materialism, you become more and more greedy.
Mm-hmm.
It because material is like a drug. It's not enough. It's enough things on this planet for food and water and whatnot to take care of every human being on this
Mm-hmm.
planet. But it's not enough to support everybody's greed because a greedy person doesn't have a cutoff.
Yeah, they don't
switch.
have a limit.
So with that being said, within our own families, we know who in the family greedy.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So quit playing the game with the family members, like what you were saying a minute ago, because I had the same kind of situation where I was like, we need to all put together $100 and da-da-da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? Now, the family members who can come together, and this is the test for the family, your family.
Right.
The family members that can come together and go ahead and do that, whether the other family members join in or
Don't
not,
do
as the progress comes, you're going to see the monkey see, monkey do effect.
it.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? A
Lead
lot of
by
people don't
example.
understand it or don't respect what you're saying because it's not in motion. When you had that motion going to where, okay, well, this month, he was able to pay off his truck because we put this money together.
Mm-hmm.
Next month she'll be able to pay, her mortgage or this, that, and other, and boo, boo, and they start seeing that now. All of a sudden, they want to put some money in.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? But as long as it's just conversation, everybody act like they don't hear.
But it's gonna always be a conversation if nobody starts.
See, but
If nobody willing to say I'm in,
but that's what it only
it can't be.
it only take 2 or 3 in your family to do it.
You must don't know our family.
No, I'm just saying if two.
And
I'm
most
saying,
families are just like, I mean, and that's the truth. Most families are not like they used to be. Like they not. They
Right.
not like they used to be because people are viewing success so differently than how success used to be defined. Success should be defined not by how much material things you have, not by how many friends you have. Success should be determined by how many people you bring along with you, how many people you uplift, how many people you encourage,
right.
how many people you make see
Positive
that
and-
tomorrow is a new day and we can start over. No matter what happened today, we can start over and we can do it again tomorrow. We'll figure it out together.
Right.
Right.
Success is not leaving anybody behind. It's everybody gonna make it, even if we all gotta struggle. But
Right.
everybody gonna make it.
Right.
But we as a people have forgot that because again, we looking to them
Right.
to see what success is. And
Right.
what is their success?
Right.
Getting ahead and leaving everybody behind.
Right.
That's not
Mm,
success. That's selfishness. And guess what?
mm.
What does it come along with? They killing each other for their little life insurance and then going to jail and make it make sense because, like, you killing them for the life insurance, you going to jail, you still not getting the life insurance.
Right.
Don't make no sense.
Then you killing each other because y'all don't want to be together. Well, if you kill them, you're still not going to be with them. Like, my thing is this, you got to use common sense in these areas. Like, you killing your kids, you're killing your wives, you're killing your husbands. Where is your legacy going to be? What legacy are you leaving behind? What are you going to leave for the next generation? What success are you leaving? You're not leaving nothing for nobody. And you're not even taking care of yourself because most of the time, sometimes they don't even end up killing themselves. They just injure themselves. Then you got to live with all this for the rest of your life.
Mm.
You got to live with this. And then how can your family look at you the same? So then again, you are all alone again. The exact same thing you said you didn't want to happen happens. When if we stop and think, tomorrow's a new day, we can start over. We'll figure it out. We'll work together. Let me go find somebody I know that loves me and we're going to talk about, we're going to figure it out. Let me not take my life. Let me not take somebody else's life. Let me not look to their success. Let me look to my own success within.
Mm.
Success is being able to say, I messed up. Let me be accountable. Let me start over. That's success. But we're not looking at it that way. It's, oh, what kind of car you got? What kind of house you got? How much did your house cost?
See, but that goes back to that whole comparison,
Mm-hmm.
The competition.
that competition.
But again, that
You
comes to measuring ourselves to their standards,
Right.
not to our own standards. Because when you have your own standards, you don't got to worry about their standards. You're going to always make your own standards.
Right.
And we got our own standards. We've always had our own
Right.
standards. But now everybody thinking, oh, let me get on their level. I don't care how much money you have. At the end of the day, if it's down to you and them, who you think they choose? It ain't going to be you. They going to choose them. And if it's up to you, them, and somebody to look like them, who they choosing? Do you think they're going to choose you? Not unless you can make more money for them. But if you can't, guess what? Sorry.
So what you think the solution got to be?
The solution is we have to come together and work together like we used to. Like when slavery ended. Right now, this food stamp stuff, this housing stuff, that's slavery. It's ended. So we need to come together and build houses together. We need to buy land together. We need to be buying family compounds. We need to be doing family farming. We need to be teaching ourselves the things that we used to, because then we can barter. We don't got to have their money. We can get rid of them altogether. Oh, okay, let's not work on their system. Let's
You
go on
just
our
said they ain't
system.
getting back out in the fields.
We don't have to get back out in the fields.
You
Not for
did.
them.
But so you think they'll do it for?
We should do it for ourselves.
We should.
Right.
I'm
But
saying
you just
if
said they ain't
we,
getting back out there.
not if they getting paid, not if they working for them. I'm saying we not working for nobody. We working for ourselves. We working for our family. This is our land, our farms, our this. So now we gonna do this. We got chickens, we got cows, we got this. Let's go barter. We need this. We need materials to learn how to make clothes, and we need somebody to teach us. Hey, if you teach me how to sew, I got you with eggs for such and such.
Right.
Barter. Back to the barter system.
If we cut them out, guess what? They ain't got no choice but to reform.
Right.
But we got to work together to do that.
Would you say that as a youngster, all this materialism that they flash in your face, everybody be want, and then you go through your 20s and 30s, and for the most part, you obtain, a high percentage of the things that you know, have been influenced upon, nice cars and you go through this whole little phase to where you're tricking your money off on things that you thought you want, but once you get it, you see it ain't even what it all cracked up to be. So then when you get a little bit older in your 40s and 50s, then you really want to go back to simple life. And that simple life is what I feel like our people are not giving the younger generation that understanding before they even go through the tricking their money off through the
Mhm.
20s and 30s. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In other words, like the compound type life that we, because I'm all with that. You know what I'm saying? To where we can get off the grid. We ain't even got, I don't even care nothing about no social media. If we can just go back to where we're self sufficient,
Mhm.
I don't need no TV. I don't need no entertainment. Not from them anyway. I mean, we can come with our own forms of music and this, that, and other in our own little circles. You know what I'm saying? Or just pods of compounds and communities that's just us, to where we can cut out all this greed. And because I really feel like that's what's driving our downfall, is because it's almost like having kids at the candy store. If you're constantly coming out with products and different stuff like that, that people that are children or any children are, striving for or wanting, or just, you know what I'm saying, because it's the latest this or latest that, that the parents is having to spend their money, or they're wanting their parents to spend their money on these things that always keep the parents a day late and a dollar short. Okay. But the real substance things, like knowing how to farm, feed yourself, keep a roof over your house, over your head, you know what I'm saying? Just those kind of things, we don't seem to have that emphasis to our children. Our children kind of take that for granted, that it's always gonna be, oh, if I ain't here, I go over grandma's house. I don't go to grandma's house, I'm going to auntie's house. I'm going aunt, you know what I'm saying? Until they get out on their own, then I'm gonna stay on my girlfriend. Or it's that
It's
kind of situation.
it's because, so for me, I'm experiencing that kind of with my children. They're spoiled, and it's like I did that out of, I didn't want them to have to go through what I went through.
Right.
So my grandma raised me. I didn't have nice clothes. I didn't have nice shoes. I didn't have all the nice stuff. Like, we was barely scraping by. We was living in Mohawk. Like, and sometimes people don't even know like all the stuff we had to go through.
Right.
And for me, I think that was a privilege for me. Now that I look back, it was a
Exactly.
privilege because I appreciated her so much. And I give anything for her, and I do anything for her. And it made me want to work harder to be able to do for her. Not necessarily even just do for myself, but do for her and do for my kids, do for the people that I love. Like, that just made me strive to want to do so much for them.
Right.
So then when I had my kids and I was young, I knew all the things that I didn't get. I knew how I felt when I didn't get this, or
You want to
So
give it to
is
so
it
I gave them
is it a blessing
everything.
or a curse that
a blessing or a
that
lesson.
yeah, a blessing or a lesson?
Is it a
Is it a
blessing
blessing
or
or
a
a
lesson?
lesson that you went through it and made you a better person, a more humble person, and because you didn't want them to go through it, it's gonna make them a worse person?
The-
And I think
Not
that's the
necessarily.
struggle that we
I
have.
don't
he
think it
just
make
he,
them a worse
Not a worse
person,
person, but I'm just saying.
but
he
they
just
they
saying
take a lot for granted.
well he just saying like how you feel about Amy. Do you think your kids feel the same way about you? Honestly.
Yes and no.
They love you. You know they love you because
Yeah.
you shit them out. But do you feel like they got the same?
No.
There you go.
No.
That's what we get
Cause
to
ain't
today.
listen, me and my grandma talk dang near every single day.
Right.
Every day. I don't care if we was fussing or whatever. I never disrespected her. I talked to her dang near every day. I saw her every day until she moved to Muskogee. And then when she came back from Muskogee, I went back to seeing her every single day. I don't care which husband I had,
Right.
how many kids I had. I always made time for her.
Right.
Because for me, she wasn't just my grandma. She was my best friend. She was the reason that I survived. She was the reason that I made it through.
Right.
So I made the mistakes I made because of thinking I needed something else.
Right.
When I had everything I needed, I had her. That's all you need. All you need is one person in your corner. If
Right.
you got one person,
Right.
you can do any and everything. If you got one person to just push you just a little bit,
Right.
and you believe in God, you got everything you need. You
Right.
got everything you need. But I think when we raise our kids and we know the struggle we've been through, we don't want them to go through that struggle
See, but
because it was
why
hard.
why don't we want our kids to have at least some kind of rough patch, so that they
Because you don't
understand.
realize how much that rough patch influenced you to be the person you are until you
I
get
mean, as a
older.
grown up, I did.
Mm, mm,
You know,
Well,
I
what age
know
was grown up for you?
I jumped off the porch early. I was a teen.
I'm saying, but when did you recognize
Well,
that
That
your
I was
struggle was your was good?
when I started having children. I started having children at 18, 19 years old.
So I
I
had my
jumped off the
first at
porch.
16,
Yeah, I jumped off the porch
and for
way earlier
me,
than that.
what he trying to say is if the blueprint ain't broke, why change it? So
because
now
you know my grandma changed it for me.
no, he talking about like, say for instance, the upbringing you got where you
Mhm.
didn't get everything you want.
Mhm.
Okay, so now you got older and you giving them everything they want, but
But
it's
it
changing.
changes. But we all changed because your mama, my grandma,
Yeah,
they didn't have the same things they did for us. They didn't have that.
we kind of came up under the same thing though.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
But I'm
mom and
saying, but
them,
they didn't have it
I'm
when they
saying,
were growing up. Their life was a lot harder than ours.
but what I'm saying is they wasn't getting everything they want. Like say
Exactly.
for instance, right now, this let's go for this right now. We didn't get to pick what the fuck we wanted to eat.
Oh no.
So right now, the kids,
Well,
if
I
they,
did. I
huh?
did. I did. I can't lie. I did. And that's why I say my grandma changed the blueprint with
Look,
me.
you eat vegetables.
I love vegetables. Yeah.
Okay, they
My
ain't,
kids love vegetables though.
but a lot. Okay, you exception for you unicorn. Let's just
I'm a
take it away
unicorn.
from you. The,
Yeah, most kids don't do
okay,
vegetables and stuff.
who get to pick what they want to eat and stuff now? The
Oh,
kids.
everybody do.
The
Yeah, the
kids
kids.
do. But when we was growing up, if you didn't eat what was in the icebox on the table, you didn't get nothing. See what I'm saying? So, but now that's why they feeling like they're untitled and ungrateful because we didn't change up the blueprint.
But but you see what I'm saying? Like, so the blueprint was changed when your mama had you. She changed the blueprint from her upbringing.
No,
Yes, she did.
what she do different?
Yes, she did because they
They got their ass beat. I got my ass beat.
but it still was a lot different.
Tell me.
Yeah,
It was a lot
the
different.
times make
Yeah.
it was different, but
I want you to tell me what was different from Granny and them, from our mamas, and with your granny, but we was, you know how we growed up together, like,
Mhm.
because your mama was my mama age.
Mhm.
But say for instance, what was different from when
Our parents, well,
tell,
my grandma and yo, they
tell
was
me,
going out.
huh?
Back, they was going out, they was clubbing, they was having fun, they was enjoying life. Before that, wasn't no women going out enjoying life.
We ain't
What?
talking about that. We talking about
But
raising the
I'm saying, but
kids.
in life, when that stuff changes,
Right.
everything changes. Even how they
They,
raise the
they
kids.
always didn't have bootlegs and everything.
No,
that
but women
was
wasn't
doing.
going like that.
Shit,
No,
you got all the everything. Let you know that they didn't
wait a
have
minute.
bootlegs.
Not the women who were married
right.
and had children that actually took care of their children. We're not talking about the kind of women that's out here doing what they doing now. Back then,
What?
and that would be my great grandma, your grandma.
Yeah.
They didn't do that. She did not do that. She was always barefoot and pregnant at home. She worked in the fields, right? So it was a certain stability. It was a different home bringing. Women didn't go out and she didn't go out and work like our parents went out and worked.
I'm
She
talking
didn't
about
go
raisins.
but that's how it changed how we got raised because guess what? Then we had to watch each other, right?
Right. They had to
So
watch each other.
they had to watch each other, but their mama was usually always there.
What?
Their mama was rarely gone.
You talking about my
Because when
grandma?
because when so grandma used to tell me when they would go pick cotton, they would have to take the kids
Oh
with them.
damn, your grandma.
Yeah, my grandma's the oldest, so
they
she
know some extra shit.
yeah. So when they go pick cotton, they
Watched each
they
other.
take the kids and they sat under a tree, and she was actually they tried to make her pick cotton, and great grandpa, which is your grandpa,
Duggery.
he was like, which everybody called daddy.
Mhm.
He was like, my girls ain't picking no cotton. So guess what they did? They sat under the tree and watched the babies. But they didn't
Watched
run
each other.
around. They wasn't at home by themselves. They wasn't none of that.
Right.
They was right there. So it was still a whole different level of mothering, a whole different level of parenting in that case. Because think about it,
Right.
no matter what they went through, they was in the house together, mother and father.
Mm.
Father was out there doing what he was doing, but guess what? He always came home to what?
The family.
He always came home to the family. Then then the next generation, fathers wasn't in the house like that no more.
But that didn't have nothing to do with us, though.
It didn't have nothing to do with the kids, but guess what? It had something
No,
to do
no,
with how
no.
the
I'm
kids
talking
was
about
raised.
they set up the programs to where they got the black fathers at the house.
But that changed our whole dynamic of how we was raised. So then guess what? So now you have single mothers who feel like they gotta what? They gotta, some of them were single by choice, some were not single by choice.
Right.
So then you got mothers trying to do the role of mother and father. And this is how I explain it. How can you want somebody to be nurturing and be the boss? How can I be nurturing and the boss? It's hard to be two things, because guess what? I might discipline you, and then guess what? Now I feel bad. So guess what I'm doing?
You're over your back. Chill.
And that's what the woman had to do. And it was still men that came in and took care of the kids, or the mama could call and say, hey, but a lot of the men wasn't doing that no more. They was out doing the next woman. They wasn't worried about them kids. Tell me I'm lying. I'm not lying.
In the 60s, 70s, and 80s, you had step parents. Step parents now is unheard
No, I think now it's more prevalent. I really think now it's more prevalent.
of.
See, that.
In the 60s, 70s, and 80s, the family was just now breaking down. So if a man came into a woman's life, and she had, just say her husband died in Vietnam or something, and she had two kids and he would step in and, try to, this is all at the same time as feminism and these social programs that was designed to go ahead and get us up out the paint. Marriage was still prevalent back then. So when I say a step parent, I'm not talking about somebody that
just live in the house
that live it. I mean, came in, married the woman, and the kids are up under the same yoke. You don't have that now because you don't even have the marriages now. You see what I'm saying?
I can't say that because in our
There's
family,
a lot of people shacking up that got, I get with a woman, she got kids, and you know what I'm saying, this, that, and other, but it's not a lot of when it comes to when you're saying step parents, are you saying people that's married with kids?
I know a lot of people,
but I'm saying
and myself,
but I'm
included,
saying, saying it's more prevalent
now
to have step kids than it was back then, because our marriage rates was 100 times higher than what it is now. So,
our marriage rates were higher because people didn't get divorced.
But this is what I'm saying. Our marriage rates are 3 out of 4 ending divorce right now. So even those that's being step parents are not going to take that whole 18-year course of step parenting these kids. They'll come in, be a step parent for 5 or 6 years. They end up getting divorced because whatever infidelity or financial situation that people get, break up or differences or whatever, but they're not going the whole course. And that's what I mean by the children are getting ABC type soup of training. You know what I'm saying? The reason why I say it's different now as far as our children and why we should use the old blueprint to raise our children is because wasn't nothing wrong with that blueprint.
It wasn't. But that's
see, we think we got to change with the times. That's our problem.
Time
ain't real.
And not only that, but I think a lot of people changed because of how bad they felt going through what they were going through, and they didn't want the same experience for their families. But it's a different way of going through things without having to make it that hard. They can still have the same experiences.
Right.
Just know that they still have you. And I think that's where we lose it. We feel like in order for them to have those experiences, that means they don't have us.
Society is, especially with our families, society is always going to have some kind of onslaught
Mhm.
that is constantly coming at us,
Mhm.
so that the damage that's done to the black family is always going to be similar.
Mhm.
Now, when when you go back to our blueprint, even though we had Jim Crow and racism and segregation and we had all these bad things beaten down at our families, it barely made a dent on our families because of the blueprint. Now that we don't necessarily have those things specifically in our face, they're still here, just in a remixed version of it, but yet we done let go of the blueprint. This is the reason why the family was able to get neutralized, because we are looking at it like, I don't want my kids to go through. Well, if what you went through was so bad, you wouldn't even be here to say that,
I mean,
because bad is really bad.
but guess what? Bad is bad for a lot of people. And I remember my grandmother. So we were talking about, women teaching women how to be women. I'm gonna tell you, my grandma was like, no, she didn't want me cooking. She didn't want me cleaning. She didn't want me. She didn't want me to have kids. She sure didn't want me to get married.
See, but that's wrong.
But you got to understand why, because you got to know what people go through: sexual assault, beating, they kids being abused. It ain't nothing new, but guess what? Who in their right mind wants their kids to go through that? Nobody. So they want you to be stronger than they were. They want you to not do the same things they did because they don't want you to go through the same things. But what we got to learn is we got to learn to identify these things. Yes, I'm going to teach you how to cook. Yes, I'm going to teach you how to clean. Yes, I'm going to teach you how to be a wife. But I'm going to teach you what to look for in a husband. That's where we lose it, because we, as African Americans, black people, whatever, other cultures, their parents picked out their mates, right?
A long time ago.
Yeah, their parents picked out their mates, and they picked it off of finances and social, what do you call it, hierarchies and all that, right?
See, but
we didn't have anything because they
but
started out as
that's
slaves.
propaganda, though. That's a
No,
narrative,
but
because
listen,
no other group in America,
Mhm.
in the United States, had a higher marriage rate than
But-
black people, and our marriages lasted longer than everybody.
but that
across the
doesn't
board
mean. But that weren't good marriages. You know the statistics on how many women were beaten, how many children were beaten and abused. Like, if we want marriages, we need to be saying successful marriages, which means as men and women, we need to be calling each other out on the BS
See,
that we're
but-
doing,
but-
so we
but-
don't have to continue. Because that's why we don't have marriages anymore. Because I'm not gonna take you putting your hands on me. Because either you gonna be in the grave, I'm gonna be in the grave,
Right.
one of us gonna be in jail,
Right.
right?
Right.
So guess what? Let's just divorce, so we don't have to do that. But if we are raised to pick the proper mates, we won't have as many divorces, because guess what? We know what we don't want.
Right.
But we never learn what we want in a mate, because guess what? We not taught that. We're not
all the
taught
people
that.
you know right now, and women that's with men, how many of them is getting beat on?
I don't know people like that, but I can say in our family, I know a lot.
See, but that
There's
goes back.
a lot of women that get beat
In
on.
our family, oh yeah.
See, but this is what I'm saying.
It's still prevalent.
This is the harsh truth about what you're talking about. Even with that ugliness, okay, though it's bad when you look at it morally, but if you was to put that statistic, how many black men are beating up on black women, and put it to the test across the board, it's still going to be less than every single other nationality out here.
Oh,
They
probably.
actually behead their women. They actually have
Oh, I'm
laws
not
to
saying-
where they can
but-
unalive their women and just go with the next woman.
But that doesn't make it right.
I ain't saying that it makes it right, but what I'm saying is the discussions that we be having
Mhm.
to where it makes it seem like the blueprint for the children
Right.
was the blueprint for the men. Men and women always done been at odds. The more prevalent that it's become that a woman will be more in her masculine to challenge the man,
Mhm.
that make everybody saying that that's okay.
No, that's not okay.
But I'm
Listen,
saying
I'm gonna tell
men,
you. So I used to be abusive to my first husband.
Oh, so
but
you was the abuser.
I was, because you know what? Because I grew up in an abusive home. You know what my motto was?
Mm.
I'm gonna get you before you get me.
right.
I'm gonna make sure you can't put your hands on me, cause you gonna die or I'm gonna die. And I was, hey, listen, my brother, and Steve jumped my first husband.
Right.
We jumped him. Steve had a cast on. We beat the crap out of him.
Mm.
Guess what? I didn't get that from nowhere. I got that from the home. I got that from my home. But guess what? I switch it around. Ain't no man putting his hands on me.
Right.
So guess what? But this is what I'm saying.
See,
This is why we gotta teach our daughters and our sons
Hey.
how to pick mates and
Right.
how to pick them off of what we want for one. And that's most of the time the problem. We don't know what we want when we're picking a mate.
Mm.
I don't
We know
think
what we don't want, but we
I-
don't
I
know
don't-
what we
Hey,
want.
hey,
I
that's
don't if I feel like abuse comes out of not being able to that don't know how to communicate. I see, but if control, before you want to control somebody, you have to talk to them. You have to tell them what you want. Otherwise, they don't know what you want and what you're not.
Most people who want control
Mhm.
feel like you should know what they want. That's why abuse is so bad, because
But are you
most
saying
people
an
don't
introduction? Are you
know.
saying
No, I'm just saying, like, so abuse don't just start out on the first date or second date.
right? And that's what I mean
So
by
no, it's not even that. So it's a form of manipulation.
right.
That's what abuse is. So they wait until they feel like they have you. Kind of like the government. How now they taking away the food stamps.
Right.
Right? So
Yeah.
now you what? At their mercy.
Right.
You got to do whatever it is they want. That's how abuse starts in a relationship.
Right.
You end up in a situation where you're at this person's mercy,
Right.
and then that's when the physical abuse starts.
Right.
That's how abuse starts. It don't just start.
But
Like-
but when you're saying, okay, in a relationship, you go from introduction, courting, commitment, then marriage, if whatnot. So within that time frame, if both people are truly paying attention to each other and both people are truly giving themselves, as far as what their ultimatums, their boundaries or whatnot, before it gets to abusive level. Now, if they just jump out the gate abusing you, then you supposed to take flight. Whether it's mental abuse, physical abuse, whatever. And most people don't recognize that the verbal abuse and mental abuse comes before the physical abuse. And that's what I really feel like people, when I say communication ain't just talking, it's actually, you can communicate with a person without saying a word to them. How you look at a person, how facial expressions, all those kind of things, the person sighing, breathing, don't want to. These are things to where if a person is really serious about their boundaries, they supposed to step up and say, look, I'm not here to bother you, this, that, and other, so I'm going to go ahead and leave. But most, like you said, people are addicted to controlling people and manipulating people because they actually want to get what they want out of a person. But at the end of the day, I'm just saying you as an individual are responsible for giving your full attention to somebody that you're finna let be so close and intimate to you. Now, if you don't want, like, you have some men that want housewives. You have some men that's okay with a woman that's running the streets. You have, you know what I'm saying? So when you sitting up doing compatibility, or whatever, whether it's mental compatibility, because some people get with people that's way under their understanding, and that becomes frustrating after you see a person is not even trying to make an effort to learn some of the things that you're trying. It's all kinds of different equations. I ain't saying it's a right way or a wrong way. I'm just saying, in my synopsis over my years of living, communication has been the main thing. People talk to each other, but they talk at each other. They don't talk to each other, and they don't really hear what the other person is saying. And then when they're not talking, they're not paying attention to me, myself. I can get more out of a conversation with, like right now, I'm single, right? If I got out here in the dating world, I would not try to talk somebody's ears off. I'm gonna introduce myself, if we kick it or whatever, if we hang out, whatever. I'm gonna pay more attention, and I've always done this my whole life. I pay more attention to how that woman moves and do her thing than what she's actually telling me. She can tell me whatever she want to tell me, but I'm gonna watch how she moves. And that way I ain't gotta ask no questions. I already come to my own conclusion without the conversation to put her up on game that I'm onto her scent to where she start manipulating. You see what I'm saying? So I mean it's just different men act different.
But it's just, but when most people start dating young,
Right.
so they don't know this stuff. They don't know what cues to look for.
Right.
When you get older, yeah, you know this stuff because
Right.
you've been through enough relationships. But when you're younger, you don't know these cues. So that's where it comes in for us as parents to teach our children to look for what they want in a partner, not just what they don't want. Because you can find somebody who don't beat you, who don't cuss you, who don't talk crazy to you, but but and don't cheat, right?
Okay.
But they don't work. They don't take care of the kids.
Right.
But guess what? They got all the things that you said you didn't want.
Right.
They don't do none of that stuff.
Right.
But you forgot to say what you wanted.
Right.
You forgot to look for what you wanted in that person.
Right.
So that's why we got to start teaching our kids to look for things that they know what they want and know what they don't want. Most relationships, and I can tell you from my own experience, every relationship I went into knowing what I didn't want. I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know what I needed.
Right.
But I knew what I didn't want. I didn't want a cheater. I didn't want an abusive person. I didn't want nobody to cuss me, call me out my name. Right? I knew all these things that I didn't want. But I didn't know what I wanted. Those are two different things. And you can have one without the other. But why not be able to have both in a partner?
Now, on the male side of the situation is like this. I find it confusing because the men that's honest are the men that the women run from. Because a woman to tell a attentive man like myself, you can tell me exactly what you expect, what you don't expect, and I can walk that tightrope, just out of respect for what you told me out the gate. And with that, because it becomes routine to where you don't even have to, there's no drama going on. Now you bored, and she'll check out mentally out of or emotionally out of the relationship, all because she's getting what she asked for. What's the answer to that?
It's called maturity in knowing what she asked for. Because I'm going to tell you, most people don't know what they want because we've never been taught.
I mean, but you can't tell a person what they want.
You can't. They have to learn for themselves what they want.
Right.
Because it is some people, and I've heard, I know somebody personally that said it. If they don't beat you, they don't love you.
Right.
So it's some people that want that kind of relationship.
Right.
But again, it all comes from learning. That's why we gotta learn. That's why we gotta start teaching our children young. Like, and I'm guilty of this myself. My kids wasn't able to date when they was younger. They wasn't able. You not dating. No. You can't bring me. And even now, I have a son that's a senior. And he's not dating. I'm sure now he's talking to girls, but he ain't never dated. So what have I taught him? I haven't taught him how to treat a woman. I mean, outside of what he sees at home, but I'm saying I haven't taught him what he needs to do because he doesn't need to do what we do. He needs to do what's best for him in his relationship. But he can't do that because he's never had a relationship.
Right.
And then not only that, like, you should want your children to bring their mates around to get to know them, so you can see the signs that they can't see.
Right.
But
See, but
a
that was
lot of African
that was
American
the
parents,
blueprint.
but a lot of African American parents don't want their kids dating because we worried about teen pregnancy. We worried about getting in trouble.
If
And not only that, but right now, going out on dates, you worry about that.
I mean, nowadays they got kids spending the night over
Oh,
the opposite sex house, and I mean they got some crazy stuff going on. The
but
blueprint
everybody
back in
not like that.
what? But no, but I'm saying because you have you have back in the day, the man was normally the one outside of the house. The woman was in the
Mhm.
house. So whether it was outside protection or inside protection, the kids was getting protection. Now that single parenting and the man is not there, the woman is doing a lot of work, and it leaves the kids vulnerable, and they're already experimenting with dating and whatever else, smoking and drinking
Yeah,
and
right.
all these
And you know
things
that.
at pubescent ages. So where it's like you really looking at this stuff like the way that it is now blows up the blueprint of what we were just talking about. Now, me myself, I know no way is going to be perfect. I don't feel like no way is going to be perfect. I feel like those that get in abusive relationships, if you respect yourself enough, you're going to leave. Now, when you leave is up to your tolerance. And me myself, I don't see whether it's a woman abusing a man abusing a woman, or the parents abusing the children and the children, abusing the parents. I mean, it's all the way around because it's so dysfunctional out here. But those that are wise enough to know that, well, this situation is not serving me, for my best potential, let me step off. It's people that stays in relationships that they're getting abused because maybe he got a good job, or uh maybe he's staying with her because he doesn't have anything going and she got a career or whatever. It's these superficial things that they hold on to.
But that's not even all the reason for most of the marriages that are bad that stay together. Because a lot of people are saying, well, I didn't have my daddy, so I don't want to leave my kids. So
Yeah,
I gotta deal with it.
right.
Or my parents were divorced, so I don't want to be divorced. Or I've already been through one divorce, and one set of kids have had to go through that, and they were traumatized. So now I don't want to do that to another set of
See,
kids.
but that goes back to what we were just talking a second ago. I don't know why everybody has a guilty feeling about their
Right.
upbringing and then turn around and say, I don't want my kids to go through this. Life is a cycle, which means things are gonna, what goes around comes around. Whatever was the reason why you went through that, you really not in control whether your children are gonna go through that. They might not go through what you went through the way that you went through it, but it's gonna be remixed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so rather than trying to fight what nature already has deemed for them to, because if you're the first try around, and in the next orbit your children is going to be number two, rather than you trying to make sure number two doesn't happen, which is going to happen, preparing them is better than trying to avoid it. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in my eyes, I feel like your kid, like, society has such an influence on all of us to where it's hard to keep the kids from catching some of the shrapnel and debris from what we're blocking, to not take them all the way out. You know what I'm saying? So to think that they're gonna make it through, escape through,
Unscathed,
yeah, you know what
yeah,
I'm saying? You
yeah.
rather them get a little cuts and bruises so that they know that it's not easy, and they'll be more attentive to pay attention to the craziness that's out here, because a lot of kids are just running. They really don't understand death until something really bad happened. They get to see it firsthand.
Mm-hmm.
And I've noticed that children that see, goes through those kind of situations have more of a humbling spirit and more of a hold on, on life, that is not a game. So they gotta kind of man up or woman up to the the obstacles that's coming their way, opposed to those who've been sheltered, and being that we're always, Black Americans are always being targeted by whoever, whether it's the government, the police, the next door neighbor, the other nationalities. We have to have thick enough skin to to combat. And if our children are not war ready, so to speak, whether it's mental war, physical war, spiritual war, if they're not war ready, they're going to succumb to what's coming at us. And me myself, I don't believe in abuse in no kind of way. I believe that everybody's supposed to have their free will to whether, if you want to stay in this situation, stay. Don't complain about it and then stay because you're sending mixed signals. When you see a situation is not suitable to your liking or how you want your life to be, and I don't care how long you've been together or how much love is there or whatever the case may be, step off.
And that's most definitely what we should be doing. But we shouldn't even be finding ourselves in those situations. That's why we need to start teaching our kids to know what they want as well as what they don't want. I feel like the more knowledge you have, the better choices you make.
Right.
Because I had my first child at 16. I married my children's father. So I had my first child at 16, my second child at 19. We were married.
Right.
We stayed married for almost 6 years. But in that, I knew that I thought he loved me because he took care of me.
Right.
Right? Because I equated love with he made sure I had what I needed. He took care of me.
Right.
When I was in high school, he bought my shoes. He bought my clothes. He paid for my lunch. I equated that with love, but that wasn't love. That was just a tactic.
Right.
Because guess what? Oh, I got this girl at home. I'm doing what I want to do. He away at college doing what he want to do. And I'm here working, going to school, taking care of the kids. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
That was a tactic. And most young women who are not raised with their father or parents in general is looking for love. They're looking for somebody to love them. But guess what? If you don't know what that kind of love looks like, the kind of love that a man is supposed to give a woman, you're going to fall for the first thing you think is love. And if somebody is providing something that you need, that you haven't had, you're going to think that's what?
Right.
You're going to think that's love. So you're going to fall for it. You're going to fall for it every time. I don't care. This is why the scenario happens so often. This is why we as parents, as men, as women, got to step up and teach not only our young girls, but our young men.
Do you think this generation of young ladies and girls are out here looking for love?
Just generation, I don't know what they're looking for right now, really, because it's crazy to me, because I don't know. This generation is a whole nother, like, this is crazy. And again, I go back to they looking to the wrong people
Right.
for success.
Right.
So they feeling like they got a bag and they got nice shoes, but they living in a project. They looking like they own. Like what?
Right.
To me, like what? I can't front. When I was 16 and when I turned 17, I had an apartment in Mohawk. But guess what? I worked. I took care of my kids. I didn't go out. I didn't drink. I didn't smoke. I worried about my babies because that's the one thing my grandmother instilled in me. Once you have kids, life ain't about you no more.
Right.
You forfeited that when you gave birth.
Right.
Life ain't about you. It's about these little people. Now you got to do what you got to do for them. So that's what I did because that's what I was taught. Like, once you have kids, it ain't about you no more.
Right.
So these girls now, though, it's, oh, he got money. Oh, let me have a baby with him so I can get more money.
Right.
My first husband wanted more kids. Guess what? I learned after the second one. Listen, you're not doing what you're supposed to for the first two. Why don't keep doing it? That makes no sense to me. Like, okay, first time you fooled me, and you said you wanted a son. You got your son, and guess what? You still out here in this tomfoolery.
And let me ask
So
you
what
this.
would make me think that you gonna change? Because it ain't no more sexes. It's either a boy or a girl. Ain't nothing gonna change for me. No.
If this generation of young women don't seem to be out here looking for love, and then you rewind 100 years ago to our great grandparents that were in relationships, whether they was abusive or not, or whatever the case may be, but it was love in that house. Is that was that more detrimental 100 years ago with that situation, or do you believe that the way it is now will be more detrimental in the future because the young women is not even looking at their
But that can't
kids
be
in the
love. Love does not hurt. Love is not physical. Love does not hurt, and that's what we got to learn the definition of love. Because
I don't
love,
believe that love has a definition. I
oh,
believe it's
love
a
has a
frequency.
definition. Love is an action,
Yeah,
for one.
I
Love is an
agree
action.
with that.
So if I tick you off,
Right,
you supposed to love me enough to say, you know what? Let me move around real
Yeah.
quick, so I don't put my hands on you.
right.
If you love me, because you got to remember, you gonna come back tomorrow, and then we gonna be all lovey-dovey after you just put your hands on me.
But this
Think
is
about it, that's not love. That's the problem. We have tricked ourselves into thinking that's love. That's not love,
Yeah,
baby.
but
That is not love.
okay.
But my love and your love is two different loves. Because my love is
Okay,
this.
so
My love
just
is
knowing that your love and that person's love is two different loves,
that's not because that's not
then
love
whose
though.
definition is right? You saying
God's.
his ain't right, or
It
she
definitely
saying
is
yeah?
not. God's love is right, and God's love is not
Did God not
for you to
did
hurt.
God not kill and punish people? I mean, according to religion.
He did.
So that's not that killing is less than abuse.
But guess what? No. But it's different kinds of love, right?
Yeah,
So a man is supposed to love his wife differently than he love his neighbor,
right. I mean,
right?
yeah, it's a
So
different.
it's different
It's a
levels
different.
of love.
It,
It's a different level
it's
of
a
love.
different
So
frequency.
the kind of love that a man is supposed to have for his woman
Right.
is the way Christ loved the church. So you telling me Christ gonna go in there and he gonna tear the church up, he gonna beat it down, he gonna destroy it? He's not.
Ain't that what Jesus did when he went to the synagogue?
Mother Nature.
He kicked over
And
tables.
yes, he created all this.
Flipped
That's
over.
another story.
He flipped over tables and he.
Because that wasn't the church.
But the
It's
church.
not just a building. The church
Yeah,
is
I
not a building.
realize that.
It's a body,
Right,
and we are the church.
right. We're the temple. Right.
So God, no.
What I'm saying though is that because when it comes to this LOVE word, there's, in my opinion, let me give that disclaimer.
In my opinion,
In my opinion, there's no one way to love. If you turn the word love around, it's evolved. You're supposed to evolve to get to a love situation. You're supposed to elevate to that. And it's a presence that Christ consciousness or that level of love is there, whether the person is around you or not. It's a mixture of respect, honesty, loyalty. You know, it's all these things.
So then, how do you respect somebody you can put hands on?
You can respect somebody. When you discipline your child, do you discipline your child? Or did you discipline your child?
Yes and no. Yes and no.
I'm saying you never spanked your children.
Yeah.
Okay. But you love your children, right? You respect your children, right? And out of those spankings, the love that they got for you is still there, right?
So you've seen a now. Let me get this right.
Right.
I have never seen an abusive man spank his woman. When we talk about abuse, you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Punching her, slapping her, hitting her, kicking her, all those things.
Okay. Now.
Those are things that even people don't do to their dogs. So you telling me it's okay
No.
for a man to do it to his woman?
Now I'm
Now,
not taking up for abusers.
But listen, but think
You know
about
what I'm
this.
saying?
How can you say you love somebody and you can kick them, you can stomp them, you can punch them. They got black eyes, bloody lips, they eyes swollen closed, and you get up in the morning and you want to kiss them.
Now, let me ask this.
What level of love is that?
Let me ask this as a disclaimer to that abuse. Is that abusive man doing all of that sober? Or is he having extra spirits on him? In other words, liquor, weed, or some kind of addiction that he's really having a withdrawal from, and you're the closest thing to him, so his way of expressing his love is a perverted way. How many sober men are just whooping down on?
Some sober men.
I ain't saying
a lot more on the spirits.
And this is what I'm saying.
But then again, it's one of those things. That's why you need to know what you want and what you don't want. I don't want alcohol.
I ain't saying.
But this is what I'm. I don't want nobody who deals in that kind of lifestyle, because guess what? I know what comes along with it.
Right. But I'm just saying, for those that's in our lineage, you know, that's been through those things or go through those things, a lot of time it be exacerbated by these other drugs and narcotics and different things that, you know, and people that's on those things are running from something.
They're running from their past, from their traumas.
Well, it ain't necessarily their past. It's like sometimes people go a man, because if a man is raised properly, he's gonna go out here and he's gonna try to tackle life and supply something to where him and his family and his, you know, children or whatnot will have something out of life, you know, and that's from his immediate family that he's building to his extended family where siblings or whatnot. So when a real man goes out here and take on all this pressure, sometimes the pressure breaks men. And because a man can't turn around and get supported by his woman or whatever the case may be, he turns to these vices. Like most men, I put it like this. If most men could be honest to a woman, most men wouldn't necessarily go out here and be, you know, a cheater. Most men go out here and cheat because the woman that he cheats with is more viable to get along with than his wife, because, and it don't sound right, but every side woman has all the keys to this man's heart that the wife doesn't. She had in the beginning, but she gave them away when she started giving them certain cold shoulders.
Most side women that I never, now most men
right
that have cheated, and most women that have cheated with these men.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tell you from my own experience.
Mm-hmm.
So after my first husband, and he was a cheater. He had children. Matter of fact, that's why we ended up getting divorced. I found out he had twins on the way.
Right.
So most men have their idea of what a wife is to be. And then they have an idea of what kind of woman they want. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And those usually are not the same women.
Right.
So they want a freak.
Right.
Out in the streets, but they don't want their wife to be that way. They want their wife.
No, they want their wife to be that way, but they don't want their wife to be in the streets that way.
No, they don't. Because I'm going to tell you, my first husband wanted me to be an angel.
Right.
But the girls that he was messing with were not angels.
See, but that...
And they were sharing, brothers, friends, they were sharing these women.
Right.
But he wanted an angel at home. He didn't want, he wanted a wife, and he wanted what he had out there.
But that's still not saying that what he had out there.
That's what most men want. They want their woman to be a certain standard, their wife to be a certain standard. But the woman they really want, they don't want to have those standards.
See,
because then they can say, do whatever they want to. That's why you got to know what you want. If you want a woman to be that kind of woman, then you got to know when you pick that woman. You know what kind of woman you getting when you pick her.
There's a difference between a woman that's that the majority of the time opposed to a woman that's that for a short period of time. In other words, a man to go out here and mess with a bust down because that's how she is. So he knows what he's getting. That's the, if you want to call it attractive, what he's attracted to because of that. His wife, he wants his wife, pure, so to speak, But at the same time, if he's married, he wants his wife to be that, but he don't want to come out and tell his wife that I want you to be like this, because if a woman gets in that mode with you, what's stopping her from leaving the house, going in that mode in these streets?
So again, he wants his wife to be a whole different person than the woman he really wants.
No,
Yeah,
she can be like that for the moment.
Most men will marry a woman that they don't love because of the kind of woman she is, as opposed to the woman he loves because of the kind of woman she is.
So he's gonna marry the boring woman, but so
Yes.
he's still going to be out here cheating.
Yes.
So every man is gonna cheat.
Not
regardless?
every man.
But that's what I'm saying. The men
most men, yes.
Okay.
Not every man, no.
Most men, now, as a man, let me give you this game. Most men want a woman that can wear like 7 different hats. If that woman can pull off that magic trick, he's not going nowhere.
But you just said yourself, he worried about her going to do it for somebody
No,
else. So
I'm
he
not-
like, nah.
No, he wants that woman to be intelligent, classy, just a whole list.
Mhm.
And at the bottom of that list, when we go to get horizontal, I want you to be like this stripper that I just came from the strip club seeing. That's what he really wants, but he doesn't want to tell her that, because then she might turn into that full time.
Exactly. So again, he's not marrying what he wants.
No,
He
she has
he
to be
married
wise
that
enough to give him that. Right?
Wait a minute, why does she have to be? Listen, we talked about
Because-
communication. You just told
No,
me how
I'm saying
a good relationship is based on communication.
exactly.
So why you can't just communicate that to your woman?
I'm saying he didn't
Why
marry.
you can't just communicate that to your woman? And why you couldn't communicate that before you got married? Because she might not be down to be that kind of girl.
See, but this is what I'm saying. She doesn't have to be that kind of girl. I'm saying if she's checking these other boxes, like every
But
man.
most men don't. And we gotta
We're
be
talking
real.
about men, right?
We talking about men.
Okay,
Most
men.
men don't start thinking with their heads until they get older.
How much older?
You
See,
tell
that's what I'm
You
saying.
me, because
It
there
depends.
still be some men in their 40s and 50s still thinking with the wrong head.
See,
So
but that's
I'm
what I'm
just
saying. Everybody doesn't mature the same or
Mhm.
elevate the same. Everybody is not paying
But
attention
again,
to life
that's
the
where it
same.
comes back to knowing what you want.
Exactly. But I'm saying, like, just say for instance, if this woman is checking, it's 7 boxes right here, and this woman is checking off 5, why would this man not go the long haul with this woman?
He's not mature. He can't communicate.
Okay.
And most men don't know how to communicate.
No, most men know how to communicate, but the woman ain't listening.
Most men do not communicate.
No, most women
Most
are
men
not
shut
listening.
down.
So he shut down.
You just said that he ain't gonna tell her he wanted to do this because he worried about her going to do it with somebody else.
Not,
Is that not? Is that not a lack of communication?
No, but
You
I'm not.
worried about what might happen, but you didn't stop to think what she could be doing for you.
See, but
So
what's
you ain't even got to think about none of that. She might put it on you so good you ain't even got to think about nobody else.
but that's what I'm saying. If you don't if you don't plant the seed by saying, and she knows what to do because she knows her man, then you're getting the situation.
Listen, if she get too freaky on her own, you already in your head. Don't do that.
No.
Cause y'all already in your head. Where she get this from? Who she do this with? Where she see this at?
See, but if you, I mean, if
Tell
you're
the truth.
if you in the marriage, you done had it
Hey, wait,
before.
It's too big here. Tell the truth. Is that not what you would be thinking if your woman did some stuff that you know you didn't show her? Is you that's not gonna cross
But
your
I'm saying
mind?
if y'all, but if
Come
y'all,
on.
if y'all married,
Even
she
if
done
you
already,
married.
she done already done that for you. I'm saying this is how
But
you.
she had to do it the first time. I'm saying
But
the
that's
first
what I'm
time
saying.
it happens, you gonna be in your head thinking, where did she learn this from? Who taught her this? Don't- How did she learn this? How
Right.
many people she been with to learn all this?
Right.
Men gonna think this.
You're right.
So that's why they
But
marry
that-
one kind of woman and they mess with another kind because they don't care what the other kind doing.
But just because the woman that quote unquote is square is not doing that to her husband, don't mean she don't know how to do that. So I mean, I'm a rational thinker. I'm not gonna worry
But
about where she
I got a
learned
question.
this at
You
if
have
we're married.
you a man, right? How
Right.
many male friends do you have? A lot. You
Yeah.
know a lot of men,
Yeah.
right? Out of you, how many men in your circle think like you? How many men have you actually been thought to yourself, you got a good woman and you out here doing some stupid stuff? How many times you done thought about that?
Many. Not that many. Not that many men think like how I think. My circle's
I
small.
said- Oh, okay.
You know
I'm
what
just
I'm
saying,
saying?
not that many. You said they don't think like you, but I'm saying,
Right.
how many times have you seen your homeboys have a decent girl
Right.
that's doing the right thing? And he out here doing some
Yeah.
stupid crap, and you thinking in your head, how dumb is that?
Right.
How many of your friends? Majority of them.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So this is what I'm saying.
See,
This
but-
you and I may
Right.
not be the majority
Right.
in our circle,
Exactly.
but I'm speaking on the majority of me because I know for a fact I've been told this several times. When after I broke up with my first husband, it was all kind of men lining up to date me.
Right.
And guess what? Marriage was not a problem because they was all, oh, we could get married, da da da.
Right.
But it wasn't because they loved me.
Right.
It was because I was marriage material.
Right.
I was loyal. They knew I wasn't going be going out doing nothing else. But
Right.
guess what they thought? They could go out and do what they want to do.
Right.
And no, I'm still where I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be at home with the kids. I'm gonna be doing my. That's our problem. Like,
Do you think that that's not like culturally how we are?
yeah, but we need to break that because
No, I'm saying
that's
I'm
why
saying
families are
if-
broken.
Well, no, I'm saying if that's culturally how we are, then our idea of relationship is a problem because we're basing it off of somebody else's way of romance. We're not Romans, so we're not supposed to be romantic. We're not supposed to be copying
guess-
that blueprint. If you look at all the indigenous people around the planet, they have a system to where the men are not bound down to bogged down to one woman.
But guess what? We in a society where you can choose, where you can tell your woman, listen, I want multiple women. And guess what? Some women gonna say, okay.
Right.
So why would you pick the one that's not? Make it make sense, like to me. And that's what I told my first
See,
husband.
but the same.
If you would have gave me an option, I wouldn't have stayed.
Right.
But maybe later on in the future, when you was ready to settle down, maybe I could have been an option for you. But because you abused the situation and abused me, what would make you think I want that back?
See, but how about the women that's just like getting cheated on, right? You with this man cheated. Rather than going off the deep end, trying to bust his car up or bust a woman up or whatever the case may be, and you sit down and you have a real cerebral talk with your man, like, if this is what you want, I give it to you. But at the end of the day, blah, 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 it will blow a man's mind because a man is not expecting that from no woman.
But most cheaters don't want that stuff. That's what you don't understand. Like
They don't
cheating
want what?
is, they don't want their woman. Their woman can never be everything to them because they like having options. They like going out doing what they do.
See, but it's not the fact that it's the cheating part. I understand because it's easy, right?
Mhm.
There's no commitment kind of tied to that. What I'm saying is, when married men, you got some men out here that they knew they shouldn't have got married from the jump.
Mhm.
Then you have other men out here that got in a relationship, stayed married, was married for a long time. Things started disintegrating in the relationship. Somebody else was showing more interest to him, and he stepped out on his wife. You got that kind of cheater. You see what I'm saying? So it's different kind of cheaters out here to where when you saying they're cheating, that they can't bring the conversation to their woman because their woman is not going to act accordingly to the relationship.
But then guess what? When you take away people's choice,
Mhm.
that's when you have a problem. When you take away people's choice, that's
Yeah.
when you get irrational thoughts, irrational actions.
Right.
Because as a man, if your woman cheating on you, how you gonna feel?
I ain't
You ain't
feel-
gonna
I
you ain't
ain't-
gonna sit back and think, well, what was I not doing? Let me see how I can be better.
Nah,
No,
nah,
you gonna go crazy
nah, I'm
because
not gonna go crazy. What I'm gonna do is say, okay, well, our contract has been violated. Then we need to go ahead and divvy up whatever we done came together with, and we can step like
but
that.
why get in that situation when everybody can just say what they want from the beginning?
Right.
Because my first husband, he told me, which is crazy, because he told me all this stuff and didn't want to get back with me, was he been cheating on me from the beginning.
Right.
So why? So why get married? Why have kids with this person? Why go through all these levels of having this person think you care about them? Because what people don't understand is emotionally, that can break a person.
Right.
That can break a person because you have to think, and especially for me, it almost broke me because I wanted to kill him. I told my grandma I was gonna kill him.
Right.
So for me, it was because I met that man when I was 14.
See, but okay, we was talking about love again.
Mhm.
Right? Want to kill him. Is it
Oh
because
yeah,
is it because you loved him?
it was because he abused me, and he knew what he was doing.
I thought it was because of the cheat.
No, because
I mean, the
so
abuse. I
you
can
got to
understand,
think about not physical abuse. It wasn't
Right.
physical abuse. That's mental abuse. You
Okay.
do that to a person.
Okay.
Think about this. So I met this man when I was 14.
Right.
So it's almost like he groomed me
Right.
to be how he wanted me to be his wife.
Right.
But imagine a man telling you, or a woman telling you, oh, I've been cheating on you from day one. When you called me and did such and such, I was with this woman. When you caught me doing this and you was asking me questions, oh, I had snuck this woman out. And when I was away and I took our daughter here, oh yeah, that woman you saw the picture with, that wasn't my family. That was one of the girls I was cheating with. Then I was cheating with all these other girls.
Was
And
he
then
telling you that? For
no, he told me after, like he told me this the day that I found out he was cheating.
Right.
He told me all this stuff, and then he was telling me, oh, and I messed with this person in our church, and I messed with this family member of yours.
So would you not rather him not been honest with
I'd rather him just not cheat.
you? I'm just saying.
I'm just saying,
After
why
he
not
done
just
done
say,
all of it.
why not just say, I don't want to be with you, or I can't be with just you, and let me make that choice.
Okay, as a woman, when you look at men and you see men do the snakish type shit like that, to where he invests a lot of time in this woman to lock her down, but then he's still over here divvying up the rest of his time with people he's stepping out with. What do you think causes that?
It's something wrong with him. He's looking for love. He's looking for
Okay,
love, but
so-
he
so-
don't know what love is
Okay,
himself.
okay. So the woman that says they know what love is know what they're looking for.
No.
No, I'm saying this is what women do. Women say they know what they want.
No, they know what kind of love they want.
Okay.
But if you don't know this man is cheating, then you thinking you
No,
getting that
no.
kind of love, right?
No, I don't look at sex as love.
No, sex is not love.
But
Sex,
but
anybody can
people
have sex.
equate that to love, because you can do a lot of shit in a relationship and the person stay with you, but as soon as you give your sex to somebody else, oh, that's the.
Because guess what? You can bring diseases.
I mean, that's.
You can bring me diseases. And not only that, you don't have to step out. You can say you don't want to be with this person. That's what people get. It's not
If sex is a part of
it's the
if
act
sex,
of you lying to me. How can you build a relationship on lies? You can't.
sex is not a part of the love scenario.
Then if it's not a part of the love scenario, why lie about it?
I'm just saying it makes it stronger. I don't know
Why
why.
lie about it?
I'm just saying relationship wise. If I love my kids and I ain't never had sex with them, that lets you know that love has nothing to do with sex. So when I get in a relationship with a woman, I'm not basing off of how tight we are according to, us having sex.
Okay,
see what
but
I'm
when you
saying?
make a commitment to this person,
Yeah.
and you tell them you're going to be the only person I'm going to be with,
Right.
then why step out of that? If
I,
if
I,
if love is not about sex and sex is not about love, sex is just sex. Why not just tell this person in the beginning?
no, I'm saying if okay, people put the weight on sex, right? Like that's normally the person cheated on me, it's over with. Th- 9 times out of 10, that's what most people break up.
Hmm.
Either that or
But you have to.
finances.
But think of all the things you have to do to cheat. You have to lie to keep it up. You have to lie because if your partner says where you been and
I-
you know where you been, then
But
you're lying.
but this is what I'm saying.
So
I'm
you
saying
breaking
yeah,
down. You breaking down every bit of trust.
right.
There's no more trust. How can you have anything? How can you have a relationship when there's no trust?
See, but this is what I'm saying. You're talking from after the fact type
No,
shit.
I'm talking about from in the fact because guess what? Now you know what you're doing, right?
Right.
People, even that person that's doing the act is thinking differently. And now you bring other people in it. So now other people are looking at your mate crazy. That in itself should be something that you should never want. You should never want anybody else to look at your mate and be like, I know something you don't know.
Right.
You think he love you or you think he want to be with you.
See, but you said it first. You think that's what I think is wrong with relationships myself. I believe that sex has been put in a situation to where it's dictating whether a relationship is a relationship.
But
Going
sex
back
is
to
the
the
most
going back to the
sex
blueprint. Going back to
sex
the
is one of the most intimate things you can do with a
yeah,
person.
I
It's soul
realize
ties
that, but I'm
involved.
saying if you go back to the blueprint,
But it's soul ties.
grandma slept in this bed, Papa slept in this
Mhm.
bed, and the only time they slept together when they was trying to make something shake. They didn't necessarily sleep in the same bed. It
But
wasn't about
you know
sex. So
why
when
most of them stopped sleeping in the same bed?
well,
Because Grandpa had another whole family somewhere else.
that wasn't the reason.
Yes,
That
it
was just
was.
culture. We
No, Grandpa had another whole family. Yes, it is. Most of them, even yes,
No.
yes. Grandpa had a whole nother family.
What you have to realize is we spring up out of towns and tribes. It wasn't a way for grandpa to have somebody else that grandma wasn't gonna know about. So that's mythos. That's
No, I
not
didn't say
real.
Grandma didn't know about it. Grandma knew. That's why they had
But
separate
this what
beds. What do you think? They stayed together, and every once in a while, if Grandma wanted to, they would do it. But guess what? Grandma knew Grandpa had another family,
okay.
and Grandma wasn't in those days. Grandma didn't have a job. Grandma didn't have a bank account. Grandma couldn't make the kind of money that she needed to take care of family, so Grandma
So
accepted what she had to accept.
and that goes back to the feminism stuff. Feminism make women think that because they got money and they can pack up and go start something else somewhere else that makes it real. What we witnessed with grandma staying there, whether she had money or not, made the difference whether the self-esteem of the children and the grandchildren in that family was intact. Now women, they go for self and they don't give a fuck whether the kids got they mind intact, the grandkids got their mind intact. Grandma is out here shaking her ass with the 20-year-olds.
Wait a
You see
minute,
what I'm
so
saying?
so
That's the
that
difference.
makes no sense though, because then that would be like saying it's okay if Grandpa don't care about all that stuff, but Grandma got to care about all
No,
that
I'm
stuff.
saying grandpa going out here, grandpa going out here having babies by another woman. Did it take something away from this household?
Yes,
What?
it took the money that he was putting in that household out and put in
No,
that
I'm saying
household.
if nothing changed in
Yeah.
this household, if nothing changed in this household, right?
But it does change.
How?
It did change. That's what's so crazy is that people actually think that you can hurt somebody and think that things aren't going to change. Grandma remained
No,
silent.
you
Grandma
said
remained
that.
silent, and Grandma hid it. But Grandma went somewhere and cried herself. Grandma hid. Grandma went in her closet and prayed to God. Grandma did all these things, and the kids saw it. The kids saw it.
And that's why little Bobby don't look like grandpa. He look like George from down the street. Because grandma was getting her licks back too. Okay, so ain't nobody perfect in the situation.
Ain't
What I'm
nobody
saying,
perfect, but
the family still stayed together, you know.
guess what?
You
The
know,
family's
grandma got a baby that look like the milkman or the mailman that everybody know that ain't grandpa's, but grandpa had to deal with that shit because he stepped out. So all that shit.
But who wants that kind of relationship? Listen, I'm not back in them days. I don't think I could last
Show me
because
somebody.
I couldn't deal with it.
Show
I
me a
couldn't.
perfect relationship now
There
that we
is
got
no,
all this.
but
Okay,
that's the
so
thing. It's not gonna be about being perfect, but it's about being honest, being
right.
truthful, being loyal, and being able to trust your partner. If I can't trust you with the least of things, you think, how am I gonna ever trust you?
I
How am
believe
I
more.
gonna
I
trust you?
believe more people are out here acting than they're actually relating. People put on a
Oh yeah,
smile for the
most
cameras
definitely.
to make it seem like
Oh,
they
most definitely.
relationship. They got a boy and a girl, and they smiling for the
Hmm.
cameras, and everybody. He got a
But
good job, she got a decent job,
but
and it looks
but
that
that's
away.
but reality is nothing is perfect. What is perfect about having a real family is working things out and working together and not having to bring other people into it. That's what makes it perfect. It don't have to be the perfect picture. We could be fussing and arguing every other day, but as long if we not bringing other people in and we still working every day to try to make this work, that's what a family is.
I'm not saying that I agree or disagree of either the man or the woman stepping. I'm saying rather than agreeing or disagreeing, for the reason that it happens, it has to be a part of our nature. And if it's a part of our nature, who the hell are we to fight against that? You see what I'm saying? We
But
have
why,
to
but
accept
why
that.
fight against it when you don't have to? Because it's people that would accept it.
No,
That's what I don't get. Because it's a lot of women.
it,
Listen, if the side chicks is accepting you while you married, you don't think they're gonna accept you while you not? They still gonna want you.
right.
So why not just say I ain't getting married because I want to have my cake and eat it too,
Okay,
and
so
then give your
ain't
partner
that
that
what ain't that
option.
what they're doing now? And everybody complaining that people don't get married.
I'm not complaining because
I'm
guess
saying
what?
society
Most
is
people don't need to
complaining
get
that,
married anyway because selfish people don't need to be married because
and
marriage is not about self. Marriage is about the family. Marriage is about doing what's best for each other,
right,
which means I'm not supposed to think about myself in the marriage. I'm supposed to think about you and vice versa. But
right,
most marriages are not built that way because one person always thinks about themselves
right.
and the other person is trying to
See,
go that route.
but
But guess
how did
what?
you
How
get
can
to
you keep in that
marriage?
direction if we're not
How do
both
you
doing
get to
that?
marriage when somebody was selfish from the jump?
Because you think you can love a person enough to change.
And there go your red flag, right? You're not supposed to. That's why I said my ideal love is not me finding a woman and changing that woman. My ideal love is that woman is already what I want. She don't have to change a damn thing. Only thing we got to do is bring both of these frequencies together and plot on what where we trying to go in life. I don't want to have to change her because to change her now she's acting. Okay, and now I got to figure out what's real and when is she acting. And if she's willing to act, that means she's lying. And if she's lying, I can't trust her. Now I got, you know what I'm saying? It's a slippery slope. At the end of the day, when trust me, I got a pass to my past. You know what I'm saying? I've been totally honest from teenage forward with my children's mothers and the whole nine. The kind of person that you say, well, why don't you just tell me? I do that. Hey, look, I fucks with you, but I fucks with her too. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm not going to pull no strings when it comes to relationship, and either you can get with the program or this is
And
how we
that's
do.
how everybody should be.
Okay, but this is what I'm saying.
If everybody was like that, we wouldn't have no problems.
I've
It's
seen
called
women.
communication.
No, but here's the problem you run into when you being honest, like what I'm talking about. You run into the woman that say, "Oh, that's it's nothing," and she's bullshitting you. See, when that's why I asked you a minute ago. I said you could tell a woman, you could be honest with the woman, and she gonna go, even if she wants to fuck with you because it looks like a challenge. Because if you telling her, look, I got A, B, C, and D lined up, but I really dig you, but I'm not gonna stop fucking with A, B, C, and D. In her mind, that becomes a challenge. A woman says, I'm finna beat out
A, B,
No,
C.
not a
You
real
know,
woman.
no,
Cause a real woman gonna be like, nah, I'm good.
no, no.
I catch you when you ready. Come
But
back, and call me later.
no, I'm saying alpha women want to be the head of the pack. They, it's more women out here. The reason why women fuck with men that's married, because they believe that they can knock the married woman out of the number one spot. They're not married messing with that dude because he's all that. It's more of a challenge. It's an
Yeah, a
adrenaline
challenge.
rush for them to upscale a woman. You dig what I'm saying? Women don't get dressed for men. Women get dressed for other women. Women buy purses for other women. Men don't give a fuck about no purses. Other women care about purses. So the better you look at what you got, and this, that, because it goes back to the comparison stuff. You see what I'm saying? So it really has nothing to do with the man is doing. A man can be honest. A man can have his shit together. A man can be truthful across the board. And that woman to sit up here and tell him, nah, there ain't no problem for you having them. And she gon' try to wear this man down to where she thinks she can change him. Either she can change him, fix him, rearrange him, or outlast B, C, and D over here. You see what I'm saying? That's the challenge that these women be out here doing. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, on a relationship level, is it easier to be honest? Would you be honest with a woman, or would you play the game that you know she's already finna step through the door playing? Because soon as you tell her, hey, look, I'm talking about this generation. I ain't saying, because after you've been seasoned for a while, you really know what the fuck you want out of life. You like, nah, look, I ain't playing no games. You know what I'm saying? But the younger women, and the younger men, they're in that pool, that pissy pool, to where you running across dishonest people, you running across abusers, drug users, you running across all this. So when a man comes to a woman and say, this is what I want. And if that woman is really into him, she just might be not on no love. She just wants some lust shit, because her hormones is clicking. She will agree to anything. And then a month later, he find himself getting his windows busted out because she really didn't agree. She agreed for that night because she wanted her back blown out. But weeks of going through that and having to look other women in the face and women jumping in their comment section and DMs, and you know how it's messy out here. So do women really want honesty? Because
again, that goes back to, you got to remember, is women and it's girls. We all have a season, and we all have to grow.
Right.
You got to know what season this person is in, what part of growth they are in,
right,
to really know a person. Because what we talking about has nothing to do with like female or male. What we talking about is the level that they on. They either on the girl level or a woman level.
See, but just like
and we
said
calling them women, they not women if they still playing these games, and they not women. Because a real woman gonna tell you what she want, what she don't want, and keep it pushing.
Okay.
And if she don't know what she wants, when she sees it, she gonna tell you, oh, okay, wait a minute. I thought I liked this, but I don't. Let's try this. And if you with it, then you with it. But if you tell her, yeah, we gonna try it, and you don't, then you just feeding it. You feeding that animal.
Okay. So somebody like Stephen Curry or Barack Obama. These are successful men, been faithful, whatever the case may be. They got wives, and they wives despise their husbands. Why is that?
You think they despise their husbands?
Yes, they've been on the record telling that, I really don't like my relationship. I really do. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, if a
wait a
woman
minute, are you taking what they're saying out of context? Because now, what I heard about the interview that Stephen Curry's wife did, how she was saying she never really
had several interviews.
She never really wanted to be a mother, and all this stuff. That's not despising her husband. That's sometimes we do things to make other people happy, because that's a part of love. Because love is actually sacrificing.
She said she didn't want to have no kids.
Yeah.
But she had kids.
Listen, but if you understand love the same way Christ, love is sacrifice. Love is doing something for others that you necessarily don't want to do, but you do it for others, and you think that that's gonna make your love stronger. That you're gonna change your mind. And a lot of women have been told that we need to have babies. We need to have babies. You don't know, you won't know how you feel until you gotta have a baby. You'll love it once you have it. Like, this is what our older people are telling us. Cause I know I've run into a lot of women who don't have children, and they like, I'm glad I didn't have no kids.
Well,
But
they failed as a woman.
how do you feel then? If that's not
Your
what you
pur-
want,
your-
see,
your purpose to
wait a
come
minute,
to this
wait a minute,
planet
but then make up your
to
mind.
multiply.
Wait a minute. So make up your mind. You just said she despised her husband because she said she didn't want to have children and stuff, right? But now you saying if you don't have children, that you failed at your job. You didn't.
Okay.
You're not a woman.
Okay.
You
Look,
see
look.
what I'm saying? This is
Me
what my
understanding about
society
life.
does to people. Not every woman can have children. Does that make her not a woman?
That makes her not a mother.
Okay. I got a question. I'm a mother.
Okay.
I love being a mother. But I'm saying, what does that title do for me?
I'm saying, understand.
What does that title do? I'm just saying.
If you have the projects where a woman is averaging 3 to 5 children,
Mhm.
then you have someone like Oprah Winfrey that's at the top of the corporate game. They got all the money and riches in the world.
Mhm.
That woman can't take a goddamn thing with her. Meanwhile, that woman has 5 mini-me's running around, that her legacy and her lineage will be here into the eternity. Okay?
Maybe.
So when it comes to life, I base my shit on that, not no corporate shit. So the women out here that don't want children because they're too selfish, because that's the only reason why a woman wouldn't want to have a child.
Are you serious?
Why wouldn't a woman want to have a child?
Well, for one, for men. I'm just saying, the men. I got a question. Was your mother married?
Yes.
Okay, what did your father do in the household?
He did everything he was supposed to do.
What did he do?
Like what? What do you mean?
What did he do?
I don't understand the question.
What did he do in the
You
house?
talking about like chores?
Period. What did he do? Did he go to work and come home? Did he go to football games? Did he pick you up from school? Did he go to parent teacher conferences? Did he help clean the kitchen? Did he help?
Yeah.
What did he do? Did he wash the clothes? What did he do?
We had a military.
What did your father do?
Everything.
What?
Everything.
you keep-
Everything you just named.
So he did all those things,
Yeah. We all did all those things.
and he included.
Yeah.
How many men nowadays do that thing? Matter of fact, even back then, how many men did those things? Be truthful. And I'm not trying to bash men because
no, I'm saying
be truthful.
step-
How
that-
many men did those things?
back then?
Yeah.
It was a high percent. That's what I was just saying. Back then, step parents was real in effect.
No. What did the fathers do when they came home?
Take a bath, chill out. I don't know. I don't understand the question.
Take a bath, chill out.
Right.
What did the woman do all day?
Probably watch the soap operas.
Really? Do you think that's what the woman did all
That's
day?
what I witnessed. Yeah, I witnessed that. All my children, young and the rest of that shit wasn't on for 100 years because it wasn't being watched.
I didn't say they didn't watch sometimes.
Okay, so
But
that-
you telling me
that-
that's all
that-
they did all day?
I mean, they might throw something on the grill. I mean, throw something on, prepare food or whatever the kids at school or
Listen,
whatever it is.
I'm gonna tell you because
I'm saying
I'm
the
gonna tell you,
job-
I know exactly what my grandma did. She cooked, she cleaned, she made sure the kids was good. She worked, and she made sure her husband's clothes was washed, ironed, done. And guess what he did? He went to work, came home. That's it.
Right.
Went to work, came home. And men are still thinking that that's okay to just go to work and come home. But women are still having to work too. So now women not only have to do all those other things that we talking about.
Men from that era
You
that
don't know-
wasn't doing extra shit. Now the kids nowadays that don't want to
Really?
do shit has been
That's
raised
all
by the single mothers that ain't
Listen.
taught them shit. But those children back in those days was being raised by parents that cut yards, fix doors, fix on the
Wait a
car,
minute, no.
change tires.
Wait a minute, but that's
what
not an
man
everyday
back,
job.
Look, what
That's
man back,
not an everyday job.
some
How
men
often
had
you
to fix
gotta
a-
change the tire?
some men had to fix. You had raggedy shit back then. Some days you had to fix something. Do you not really
But you took an hour out of your
cutting
day to
yard,
fix something.
doing this,
Cutting the yard.
fixing
How
a
often you cut
hole
the
in
yard?
there?
Once a week?
What you mean?
Cut the yard once a week.
See, but what you do,
Change
you're,
the oil
you're
every
comparing
3
those.
months.
You're comparing the labor like it wasn't nothing to do. Now that they're not doing it all, then these is fuck boys. So
I didn't say they had to do it all, but I'm saying
back
that
then when men were
men were not cooking and cleaning. Men were not. Men were not cooking and cleaning. They wasn't doing laundry. Now, maybe in your household, but that's very rare. But the majority of men were not doing that. They were doing as they pleased. They were going to work. Then they was going out to have a drink after work or going to hang out with whoever they was hanging out
that
with.
ain't never
Then
gonna
they
stop.
was
That ain't never. Only difference was back then shit was being handled. You know what I'm
it's time
saying?
to shut it down.
But let me say this much. Just on that tip. The men of yesteryear, like right now, I don't know no kids that's gonna outcook men. What Mill learn how to cook? Ain't no teenagers out here out cooking him, which means that generation learned how to cook that this generation didn't know how to cook. Who did this generation learn how to? He learned how to cook from the elders that was around then. These kids don't know how to cook. Why? Because these elders, their parents or grandparents, ain't teaching these kids nothing. So there is a big separation within as far as what men do. Men are not being raised to be men nowadays. They're raising themselves, and if they feel like throwing on the skirt and painting their nails and having a sassy attitude about not wanting to get their hands dirty, it's okay. That's what society say. You couldn't do that shit back then. You had to change the tire. You had to put hammer the nail. You had to fix some shit. So the Generation X was the last generation that you was gonna get this kind of men, opposed to the new generation. We have to reinstill that because the women that was raised these last two generations did not instill that into them.
Keyword women. Where was the men?
This is what
I'm
saying.
just saying.
I know the men.
I'm just saying.
The men are dead and locked up. My generation got wiped out with crack and gangs. So I can tell you where my generation of men went. We had a whole assault on us from the government. Plus, we had feminism to say, I don't need no man. So, I mean, on top of that. So, and with
Tap
that
out.
being said,